Kyoto, everybody. Give me 1 second, okay? We're almost ready. Ba-bam!
Watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months. Action.
Kyoto Bolt fam, it's the director. My goodness gracious. There you guys are. What's up, everybody? Who are you people? Bolt fam in the chat. We got like 200 people in here. Excited to watch the national championship game. My first college game that we're ever kind of live hosting for. Some people will say you're calling. I'm not calling. I'm just here. Man, for some of you Michigan fans out there, like, who is this guy on YouTube? Well, okay, welcome to the Director Chargers channel. Of course, we are all Chargers fans out here, and unfortunately for some of you Michigan fans, might not like the fact that Jim Harbaugh has been linked a lot to the Chargers in terms of our future head coach. Please, you know what? We need it so bad, man. This has been a program in despair for the longest time. It's been a painful experience the last 20 years or so. It's been very, very difficult. We need a huge turnaround like Jim Harbaugh. He's attracted to the job because of Justin Herbert and the situation and connections out there. So the Chargers fans decided to get together and support a Jim Harbaugh and root on the Michigan Wolverines in this national championship Monday, in which after the fact could start giving us hints as to whether or not Jim is for real coming to Los Angeles to rescue the Chargers from a lifetime of mediocrity, or if he's looking to stay at Michigan or maybe perhaps even a different team. Either way, we're really hoping that Jim Harbaugh finds some success tonight, wins his national championship, can tip that or can check that box off of his career and turn his attention towards the coveted Super Bowl championship next, man. Should be a pretty good one in here. Dudes, hey, man, 200 plus people in the chat already. Good to see everybody. Pedro Ramirez coming in with a 50. MX says, Harbaugh, come to Papa. Harbaugh to LA, please. And thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, we're about to get ready out here, man. They're going through some of the opening ceremonies of the national championship game right now. Certainly very exciting. And of course, outside of the Chargers narratives, which is a big reason why a lot of us are here, always fun to sit and watch the national championship year after year, and it's kind of fun to actually have your Chargers fan community around you with similar objectives out there, too, similar view sets. So it should be a pretty good one today, man. Let's get some shout-outs in the chat for some of you sexy beasts that showed up for the college football live stream. What's going on? Gabe Gomez, Cruiser. We got Robert Green, Chris B, Hiko. We got Charles Morris. We got Moku. We got Nightwave, ZMP, Fresh Prince, King D. Lloyd, Matthew. We got Johnny Blaze, we got Rice, we got Ruben Valdez, we got Carlos, we got Matthew, we got K-Boy, we got Grim7, Jay Herbaum, Arthur, we got Eddie Saldana. Good to see everybody in the chat today, man. How about a couple more here at the bottom? We got Jake L, 19. Of course, Hugo the Doorman Boss in the house, one of the coveted mods of the channel. Matthew Dahl, Robert D, guitarist. We got Sherry, we got Lip Spartan, we got Brent Kruger, and we got Jacob Matt York. Good to see everybody in the chat today. Colts Dog coming in with the $2 haul at so far yesterday, and we want Harbaugh chant. Yes, sir. Yes, sir! I've been seeing that narrative fly high everywhere the Chargers fans have been, man. I don't know, dude. Somebody told me yesterday, one of my not Chargers fans said, you and your Chargers fans and your Jim Harbaugh obsession, it's kind of like watching the Swifties and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're sick of it. Well, until he signs on the dotted line, man, we ain't shutting up. We ain't going quietly into the night. We need we need a head coach that can take us into the next generation of Chargers fans and Chargers football. Those of us been here a long time, even newer Chargers fans, we all deserve it, man. I posted something the other day. I wasn't planning on showing this, but you know what? I think the vibes are here, man. Let's go get those vibes in the chat right now. I photoshopped this because you know what? Who else is getting these vibes, man? Who else is getting these vibes? If you guys don't know who these are, that's Don Coryell. Eric Coryell on the left side there with his quarterback, Dan Fouts. In the middle, you got Marty Schottenheimer with his quarterback, Phillip Rivers. Of course, him and Drew Brees a long time, too. And then on the right, possibly the future of the Chargers and why we have 250 people in the chat right now. A possible future of the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, head coach, with his quarterback and Justin Herbert. Likely the biggest reason he would come here in the first place. Let me see those lightning bolts in the chat, man, if you are feeling these vibes right now. And for those of you who don't know why this is significant, I think twice in Chargers history, I think there was a Ross, as well in the Super Bowl era. But I would say two of the most significant coaching hires in Chargers history were, of course, Coryell and Schottenheimer. It just feels like we're circling right back to that again, man. We need another big turnaround on this team. And I do feel Harbaugh is the best man equipped to make that happen, man. Let's do it, dude. Let's do it! Director, you're pressing that touchdown Chargers when Michigan scores. You know it. You know it. If you guys are wondering what he means, we have some animations preset for when stuff happens. And of course, Michigan, you guys are honorary Chargers as of today, so we're gonna go ahead and do stuff like that. First down, of course, touchdown. We'd be pretty sick too. Let's go over here to the scoreboard right there. Let's see what else we got. We can't be running this one anymore. We're gonna have to replace this one, guys. I don't know if you guys saw, but it seems that Austin Eckler more than likely is not returning next season. We do have an H-bomb. This is reserved for Justin Herbert, but maybe we'll pull it out if we see some nice deep passes from J.J. McCarthy tonight. And last one, what's one of my favorites here? The defense, yeah. Should be fun, man. Should be a good time. Should be a very, very good time. The crowd was chanting. Okay. Director says, Jim, we say Harbaugh. When I say Jim, you say Harbaugh. Jim. Let's go, baby. Here come the Huskies out of the tunnel. Players taking the field. We're getting ready to kick off here, man. Okay, so before we actually do officially get into this game, we got 200-300 people in here. Hit that like button, first off. Second off, I know Chargers fans are wondering, who are you rooting for, right? I know there's a lot of course, we're rooting for the Wolverines, but we're also looking for prospects. The Chargers have the number 5 pick, which means good position, rounds 1 through 7. And I do believe if Harbaugh comes to the Chargers, we're going to see a couple of these names in here. I'm going to list to you guys some of the names that I picked out here that you might want to pay attention to during this game in particular, under the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Who are we looking to see perform? On the Michigan side of things, of course, probably the most important one, J.J. McCarthy, second rounder. Chargers probably don't take a quarterback in the second round. Chris Jenkins, defensive lineman, second rounder. He's a pretty nice prospect right there. Rod Moore, safety in the third round. Also not a bad prospect. Roman Wilson, wide receiver. Blake Corum, running back. Donovan Edwards, running back. And you know what? Both of those two, I think it's important to look at the system that he's got there in Michigan and use your eyeballs to see, okay, how could he translate that to the Chargers? Because it's been a similar system since he coached way back in the day. I would even say Frank Gore days with the San Francisco 49ers. Then a couple of middle and late rounders. They got a cornerback, Mike. Is it Sain Ristil, right? Cornerback, fourth rounder. Zach Zinner is a guard. A.J. Barner, tight end. Junior Colson, linebacker. Some really nice talent, I would say, in second round and beyond for the Michigan Wolverines. And then for the Washington Huskies, you're looking at quite a few first-rounders in Rome Odunze, wide receiver, of course, a pretty big one. Michael Penix, quarterback, first-rounder. Braylon Trice, edge player in the first round. Troy Fonatu, wide receiver. Jalen Polk, Jalen Polk and Jalen McMillan, a second and third rounder. And then a couple of late-round picks, middle-round picks, like Jabbar Muhammad, cornerback. So those are some of the names to keep an eye on. We're going to certainly keep an eye on them ourselves as well and see how these guys perform under the bright lights, as some of them could be future Los Angeles Chargers as well. We will miss you, Lindsley. Yeah, guys, Lindsley's number, was it 63? Remind me in the chat. Is it 63? Please put in the chat Austin Eckler's number 30. Of course, there were some complications at the end there, but one of the best San Diego Charger / Los Angeles Charger running backs ever. Let's pay some respect to him. 30's in the chat. And then 63's in the chat for our guy, Corey Lindsley, who is likely going to be retiring with a heart-related issue. I mean, it's hard to say one of the best Chargers centers ever because of, Hardwick and all that kind of stuff, but he certainly was one of the best I've ever seen at his impact on a team. He's going to be sorely missed too. Also giving the Chargers an opportunity to take a look and see who's available. I would say second round and beyond at the center position. I would say center is so much more important to this team than a lot of us do realize. Guess what my wife got me for Christmas? There we go. Now we're official with the coffee on the side here, baby. And you know what? Nice Michigan blue on that cup today, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here comes the coin toss, and we're getting ready to kick off here, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to kick off here. National championship all comes down to this. Is this Michigan first-time appearance national championship? Was I reading that correctly yesterday? First-time appearance? That's pretty big. Pretty big. Another huge accomplishment for Jim Harbaugh. Hey, Director, how many compensatory picks if our Bolts lose undrafted free agents? Eckler, Gilman. I would say a lot, mostly late rounders. But yeah, I would say that's definitely something that we're going to keep track of as we get closer to the draft. Of course, the draft coming up here pretty soon. Chargers with a nice draft position. Should be pretty exciting to follow. Let's go Michigan, baby. We all decided to dust off our best Navy jerseys, right? We got a little Michigan energy and the lightning bolts on the shoulders, man. That's what I've been telling people. Some people were super upset about it. Actually, a surprisingly good number of you guys were about it. I was going to say, if Harbaugh ends up coming to the Chargers, how sick would it be if it's just even for one season, right, in honor of what he did with the Michigan Wolverines, despite what happens at the result of this game, that we change to these uniforms for the 2024 season. You can go back to the Powder Blues after that, but for 2024, I think it would be pretty sick, right, to enter that era with the dark, intimidating Powder Blues, baby. Nightwave, what's going on, dude? First college game that we've ever live streamed for. Super excited to see the Chargers fans. Ultimately, I just kind of wanted Chargers fans had a place to hang out. I know a lot of us were going to be catching this game anyway. In support of Jim Harbaugh, who could be our future head coach. It'd be pretty sick. Yeah, Michigan's going to win the coin toss. And we are looking to kick off here in both programs. You know what I actually need to do as well, because I'm not familiar with both of these rosters as much as, let's say, the Chargers. We're going to go Michigan Wolverines roster. Washington Husky. Filter by number. I'll have a good idea of what we're looking at. And here we go. Kickoff has commenced. The Wolverines are going to be returning it back to the 15-yard line. Nice special teams there by Washington. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at the 15. At the 15. All right, here we go, baby. J.J. McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines on offense to start this game. There's going to be a handoff to start things off. It'll be a pickup of 4 or 5 yards. And a second and medium coming up for Michigan, baby. Should have put on my Wolverine costume. I know if any of you guys are ever in doubt that we were a Wolverine fan back before all this went down, we got a cosplay that would disagree. Here comes 2nd and 6 for the Wolverines. Bunch in a power formation. JJ, he's going to pass it over the middle. First down, Wolverines. Number 6 of the Wolverines brings it in. And that is Johnson with the first down. 1st and 10 coming up. James with the $5 watching from the UK. See how much of this game I stay awake for. If we get Coach Jim, who you think's chasing from Michigan in the draft buildup, I think Blake Corum's probably going to be a big favorite of the Chargers. But I also like Jenkins, defensive lineman in the second round. Definitely not a bad idea there, too. A couple of names to be following throughout this game as well, as Chargers fans do have nice draft position. Here comes another handoff. I think it's going to be Corum, who's going to be fighting for the football. Helmet falls off one of the linemen. Corum's going to pick up a nice 8 yards or so. It'll be a 2nd and short right there, baby. Nice handoff and nice run. Nice play design on the run, I should say there. Nice 8-yard carry by the Michigan Wolverines. Thank you so much, James. Here comes another carry over the middle. Blake Corum. I do believe. No, the other running back's going to pick up the first down there. Michigan first down. Almost there, guys. Sorry, almost there. There we go. There's our number roster. All right, we are all set. 1st and 10, McCarthy. Corum in the backfield. McCarthy's going to play action. McCarthy stepping back, looking for some time. Finds a target at number 6. And that's going to be Johnson with the first down, Michigan. It's Cornelius, right? Cornelius Johnson, wide receiver, picks up the first down after a nice pass on the move by J.J. McCarthy. And it's going to be first down Michigan again, this time at midfield, 49-yard line, and climbing. Can't stop checking for the latest Harbaugh news. You guys keep me in check here too, man. You guys see something that I'm not aware of on Twitter, you let me know. But, of course, he's not going to be saying nothing while coaching this game. Either way, who knows what sources have in terms of information on that. 1st and 10, it's going to be a reverse. No, nice fake. Dude, 20 is absolutely insane out here, man. Big carry by the running back. Nice cut up the middle, too, and he's going to generate a first down there. It's going to put him wearing it around the 40-yard line of the Wolverines. Nice friggin' play by Kalel Mullings. Kalel Mullings. That's a running back to keep an eye on, too. That's a nice, more of a power look I'm looking at. Maybe more of a bell cow kind of back. Here comes Blake Corum. Nope, another play action. McCarthy steps up in the pocket, and pressure's going to get home. The Huskies are going to take him down. Sack, and it's going to be, like a 4-yard loss or so. Big play by Washington. Forces a 2nd and long for Michigan. We're going to play NCAA? Maybe, man. I don't know. Now that it's back in the fold, we might have to give it a shot. I've always been a Madden kid for the longest time. I'll have to wait and see. Chargers already interviewing people. Yeah, we've been seeing that, man. They're doing their due diligence. Of course, you're going to have to get a certain amount of interviews before you can even bring Jim Harbaugh into the fold. The Rooney Rule dictates that's going to be the protocol there. Here comes another carry, this time up the middle by number 7. He's going to bounce off a defender. 7's going to take it all the way on the sideline. 5, touchdown, Wolverines. 41 yards to the house. And a big play by Donovan Edwards, baby. Donovan Edwards, big running back, one that honestly, dudes, Corum looks great, and I think it'd be an awesome pickup by the Chargers. But Donovan Edwards, also in and around a 4th-round value, could be that big-bodied back that we need in L.A., baby. I don't know, dude. That was a nice play. If you're a Huskies fan, that is alarming. Big 41-yard touchdown for the Michigan Wolverines to start off this game. Woo, we still got 10 minutes in the first quarter, too, baby. That is insane. So as a reminder, actually, who posted it just now? I think it was Bolt Beat. Let's go give them some credit here. And actually, that was retweeted from Tyler Schoen, who says, so far today, the Chargers have submitted head coach interview requests for Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken, Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, of course, Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. That would also be a very solid hire, mind you. And then Niners defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes. So that's going to be 4 interviews so far. Don't know if they're in the bag quite yet. Of course, there's going to be some coordination there required. I don't know how they do it either. I have to assume that they fly in, right, to give them the old red carpet treatment, buy them the most expensive items on the menu, drinks all around, and send them on their happy way. Is that how the interview process works, you think? Or do you think there are times that you can just go on the old Skype account, reactivate that Skype account, that Zoom account, dust off the old pandemic virtual interview webcam and get that out of the way right away? Because it's going to be a race, guys. I can't tell you that. I mean, we've heard a lot of rumors, right? Commanders there's so many vacancies in terms of NFL head coach right now that there's going to be a lot of demand for Coach Harbaugh, right? And probably the most intimidating, if you're a Chargers fan, the rumors revolving around him and the Las Vegas Raiders. We do not want to see that happen. Can you guys imagine what kind of hell that would be? It would be a long, pitiful, miserable couple of seasons at least in the AFC West if the Chargers were to face Sean Payton, Andy Reid, and Jim Harbaugh within our division. Good luck to any first-time head coach, even a Ben Johnson, in that situation. Fortunately for Chargers fans, we seem to be ahead of the curve. We seem to be the front runners in terms of what we want, or I should say what Jim Harbaugh wants to coach the NFL, mainly being Justin Herbert, but a lot of other benefits, tacked on top of that in terms of draft position, in terms of young stars on the roster. Yes, the one probably big tack mark you have, actually there's 2. I would say there's 2 big marks against the Chargers you got to watch out for. One probably being ownership. And if for most other guys, I would say watch out. But fortunately for the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers already have a pretty strong relationship from their playing days back in the days of San Diego, as well as I think they were talking about when he was coaching at San Diego, that they had a very strong relationship that formed there. Right? Very exciting to see those pieces put together. And the other thing is going to be your cap, right? The cap's probably another mark against. Fortunately for the Chargers and its fans, it's really just a one-year thing. It's kind of being blown out of proportion. Yes, it's not a good situation to be in, but we're going to have a lot more help in 2025 in terms of the money, so I'm not too worried about that right now. Number 89 tight end is doing some work out there. Let's go see if we can find this man's. I hope all of these are up to date. Number 89 tight end. AJ Barner. Yeah, we have him written down too. What grade do we have him on? AJ Barner. You can probably grab him in and around the 4th round. Definitely not a bad idea to keep an eye on some of these mid-late round guys. That if the Chargers with the really high draft pick decide to go with a big difference maker, like let's say Brock Bowers. Let's say in the 2nd round they go, I don't know, corner or even center. Maybe you're looking at some of these mid-late round guys from Michigan to come in and step up with a head coach that they possibly know. Trey Benson would be solid too. Do you think some Chargers players at the game? Maybe. I got to assume there's some Chargers representation at the game for sure. Here come the Huskies starting at the 25. It's going to be a pitch to number 7, who's going to plow his way forward for a nice 5, 6, maybe even 7-yard gain. Big play by the Huskies to start things off on the ground. Nice running by both teams to start things off. Dylan Johnson, the running back for Washington, going to get in there for a nice first carry of the game. George coming in with the $2. What up, director? Sweet bonus watch party. I think other than the NFL draft, this is the first back-to-back stream that we've had on this channel, maybe ever. Pretty intense, man. But that's how big of a support that we have in the idea of Jim Harbaugh to the Bolts. Here comes Penix, who's going to fire it off to the right side. Number 11 of the Washington Huskies going to pick up the first down. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Huskies in and around the 40-yard line. Kyoto JS, good to see you. You want that edge in the second round. Edge could be pretty important depending on what happens with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Here comes 1st and 10 for Penix and the Huskies. And here comes Penix on the run. He's going to fire on the run underneath to number 8, who's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and long coming up for the Huskies. Here comes 2nd and 7 for Penix. It's going to be a handoff, and number 8's going to get the ball right back, and it's going to be bottled up by Michigan. Nice defense there, a gain of maybe 2 or 3. It's going to be a 3rd and medium coming up for the Huskies. 3rd and medium coming up for the Huskies. There we go. So Jalen McMillan getting involved early. Braylon Trice, Will Nixon, running back. And Dylan Johnson, that's who we're looking at. Nice. Try to get Marvin Harrison. That'd be pretty steep though, man. Here comes a pass underneath. Almost tackled for a stop. Unfortunately, the tackle is broken. And number 20 of the Huskies is going to take it for a 1st down. That's going to be Rogers. Tybo Rogers, running back. Nice breaking of the tackle with that underneath pass. And he'll take it for the 1st down. Huskies are driving now at the 42-yard line of the Michigan Wolverines. Who are we looking at in terms of the Wolverines on defense right now? Rod Moore, safety. Of course, Chris Jenkins on the defensive line. Corner as well is who we're looking for. Here comes Penix, who's going to fire it to the running back again. It's going to go incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. 2nd and 10 coming up. Thank you, George, for the 2 there, man. Appreciate you. That will be our new cornerback. Who knows? Who knows? I'm going to go ahead and look up the number there so we can see who to pay attention to on that side. Here comes 2nd and 10. This is from the 42-yard line still. Penix, kind of like a trips formation. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. And there is a flag on this play. There is a flag on this play. Don't want to be a as Georgia TCU. Is there anyone on either team that you would like to draft? Yeah, plenty of guys on either team. And Washington decided to call a timeout. Might have had too many guys on the field. Don't know what the penalty would have been, but it looks like the penalty or the timeout should wipe it away. Did you see the Justin haircut? Yeah, I did, baby. Justin Herbert ushering in the new era as well with the new do. We'll get the locks back before the season, though. That's something that has to stay, right? Imagine Harbaugh's first season as our head coach, and all 7 draft picks are from Michigan. That'd be pretty nuts. Who are you going to draft from Michigan in the top 5? Maybe let's say 6, right? There's plenty of guys, I think, 2nd round and beyond that I feel okay from Michigan, right? If I were a betting man, I would say the Chargers, if they get Jim Harbaugh, if they draft, I would say the first 2-3 picks, maybe not from Michigan, and then outside of that, maybe you see guys in rounds 4 through 7, at least a couple of them would be from Michigan. At least 2, I would say. Maybe 3 through 7, you'd see at least 2 Michigan players. Some of those late round guys, definitely not too bad. And fill some positions of need. Bolts aren't trading up. It's more likely that way. Yeah, so I would say, like, unless a miracle happens, Marvin Harrison Jr., probably not in the stars for us. If we had pick number 4, then maybe we're all pressing for it because it doesn't require really a trade there. But even with so many quarterbacks likely going in the top 5, I don't think Marvin Harrison falls out of the top 3. I'll be honest with you guys. There's even a chance that the Bears go ahead and take him with the number 1 pick. That's how good of a player he is. But quite honestly, the Chargers in such a good position anyway, man. Like, let's say we do end up with Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers. Like, that's a huge win despite. Like, those two. This draft class is so much better than last year's. I can't even tell. This is a great season to have the number 5 pick. Whoever does the picking does a better job mid to late rounds than Telesco did. Yeah, well, that's another exciting aspect. We'll have to wait and see how this new GM likes to operate. Hopefully he's not too hot-headed and doesn't follow the golden rule of best player available, as we're in commercial break right now, by the way. But it'll be an exciting development to watch this year. We did out the Rooney Rule interview today. That's good and out of the way. So I don't know if we've officially... I know we requested many interviews. I don't know if we've officially gone through them quite yet. But it does look like the Chargers are moving. And you know what's a big indicator here, too, that I think is kind of flying under the radar, that I don't think a lot of people have mentioned so far, is the fact that the Chargers haven't interviewed a GM yet. I haven't heard it yet. Have you guys? Have the Chargers requested interviews with GMs yet? I haven't heard it yet. And honestly, that's kind of a big indicator that they're gonna let Jim or a head coach have a say in that. Ooh. Is it the Huskies running back down with injury? Looks like he got rolled up on in that ankle. The Dylan Johnson, is that his name? Yikes. He's on the sideline in pain. Hopefully he's all right. Yes, GM interviews. So a big part of bringing in a guy like Jim Harbaugh would likely be having a say in who the GM's going to be. And the Chargers not having done that yet, and a lot of other teams have, kind of tells me that maybe they're just waiting so that they can give Jim an opportunity to have a say. Here comes a screen by the Huskies. And they're going to hit their best player in Rome, dude. Aduze is going to bring that screen all the way for, what, a 15-yard pickup? That is a great play by the Washington Huskies. Here come the 1st and 10 play from the 26-yard line, and Penix is leading this drive pretty efficiently in this first play. And as I say that, he's going to miss his mark. Pass over the middle. It's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. 5th pick tight end is going to be developed. Rather sign Hunter. It's really interesting how this whole narrative is going to unfold in terms of fan perspective. I think there's a lot of good points being made in terms of the position, but trust me when I tell you, and we're going to give you guys more evidence of this as we continue, Brock Bowers is such a unicorn, like an exception to all the rules when it comes to drafting a tight end early. This guy is unlike maybe any tight end that I've ever seen coming into the draft. He is unbelievable. Here comes a play for number 11 of the Huskies. It's going to pick up maybe 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and short coming up. I think it was an option. Head off to the receiver to the right side. Nice blocking. Both offenses looking pretty nice to start this off. ESPN hasn't shown up. I apologize if you're not able to get in there. We are actually watching on Hulu Live. Hulu Live. Keenan needs to retire a Charger. Don't worry. Keenan's not going anywhere, man. I can't. I would be my biggest shock if he does end up getting traded or released or whatever like that. I think Keenan's going to stick around. Here comes a nice carry over the middle. And that's going to be a 1st down Huskies. Looks like number 7's looking okay after that rolled ankle. Johnson with a nice pick up there. Brings a 1st and 11 at the Michigan 11-yard line. Excuse me, 1st and 10 at the Michigan 11-yard line. Here comes 1st and goal. It'll be another carry, and Michigan's all over it. Michigan brings him down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be a 2nd and goal. Tough part of the field to score if you're the Huskies. And the Wolverines looking for a stop in the red zone. Hugo says, when it comes to tight end, you really need to make the right choice because a great tight end be found at any point, whether in the first like Pitts or mid-round like Kelsey or undrafted free agent like Gates. That's absolutely correct, yes. The chance at getting a mid or late round tight end, very, very slim, however. And Blake, or I should say Brock Bowers, your best opportunity to get that difference maker at the position right away, even if it does cost a pick number 5. We're going to go over a lot more in terms of an explanation as to why I'm so high on Brock Bowers in the coming days and weeks, as I do think he does things at the tight end position that almost no tight end can do, maybe even in the league right now. Just wait till we see this combine, man. He's going to blow your socks off. The way this dude moves, the way this dude runs routes, the way he carries after contact. This dude plows through contact like it's nothing, man. Yes, he's maybe a little bit undersized, but he's got everything. And he's a great blocker, too. It's something that is sorely found with players of that skill set. If Michigan wins, do you think Harbaugh might drop some hits post-game? Possible. 3rd and goal for the Huskies, and it's going to be a timeout taken by Washington. And they're going to evaluate here in the first quarter, burning 2 timeouts. With 4:04 left in the first, they're going to reevaluate what they're doing. We'll come back here in a minute after the break. Have you seen Neighbors highlights? Dude, Mike, Neighbors looks unbelievable. Unbelievable. And at this point, yes, Bowers is kind of still my dude. It could change. Who knows? I love Neighbors so much. I haven't watched nearly enough film or highlight there. I got to do more research on both prospects as we're getting into the draft season. What I've seen so far, man, there's no way I'm walking away from that draft disappointed with either Bowers or Neighbors. Both of those guys, unbelievable. Yes, Neighbors buried a little bit in his hype because of Marvin Harrison Jr. Shouldn't be. He's absolutely fantastic. Some people would even say he's better than Marvin. I think it's ridiculous. I think Marvin's going to be one of the best wide receivers ever out of the draft. But Neighbors sure as heck looks so good. And you pair him up with a quarterback like Justin, you could say that about Brock too, man. Like both those guys. Like you are not losing with either one of those picks. You are not losing. Keep Mac if he's down to stay. Yeah, there's going to be some big storylines revolving around the Chargers as we get closer to the offseason, the 2024 official kickoff into that season. Lots of moves are going to have to be made. The one that we're all here in support of is a possible change at head coach by the name of Jim Harbaugh, who could lead this team into the future in terms of the quickest turnaround possible for an NFL team and one of the best situations possible to walk in as a head coach. I'll say this. If we don't get Jim Harbaugh, whoever's going to take over the Chargers head coaching position is one lucky SOB because this team is ready to go. Same as Brandon Staley, man. He walked into a great situation. He pooed the bed. Let's see if the Chargers wise up and get a big guy in here to lead this team with all the tools that he's going to have at his disposal. Why not get aggressive and get Neighbors and Bowers? That would be pretty intense. I just think that the Chargers, in this season in particular, you have not just a great first-round pick, but you got great position in rounds 2 through 7. Does that make sense? So think about it this way. The Chargers in the first round select Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, with pick number 5. And then you circle around and you get into the second round. The Chargers in the second round. At that point, dudes, we are positioned for a nice, we'll say, late first-round graded player instead of like maybe a second or third round graded player because of where we're positioned. Does that make sense? So because pick number 5 is at our disposal in terms of draft position, we kind of have an opportunity to draft another first-round graded guy, be it a late first-rounder, in the second round. And trading up to get both those guys would be pretty hard to do anyway. So might as well use the draft position that you have to get quality guys anyway and fill more positions because the Chargers do have quite a few positions in need. They're going to need to be filled. And trading just takes away a lot of that opportunity. But it is interesting to think about. And some people have entertained the thought about Marvin Harrison and that trade. I think I'm more about that trade, even if it's way maybe unrealistic. I think it could perhaps happen because the trade is like a jump of 1 or 2 picks rather than like a whole round or 2. Here comes 3rd and goal, and Penix is going to try and hit his man in the back of the end zone. It is incomplete. 4th and goal coming up for the Huskies. And the throw was too high. Incomplete. Rome Odunze is going to be your intended target, and it is incomplete. The Huskies here, do they take their three? I have to imagine they do. Stream was buffering, had to refresh. Okay, hopefully everybody's good. It's kind of an off-the-cuff, fun place to hang out for Chargers fans in this game. We're going to be calling it, as always. Talking a lot about the Chargers in between as we go into commercial break, etc., etc. Oh, that thing just snuck in there. It's good, though. It's going to be a score of 3-7, 3-7. It is good, but man, did that thing just barely sneak in. And Michigan will retain the lead 7-3 and get back out on offense with 4 left in the first quarter. Ooh, that was close, dude. Have you seen Keon Coleman by chance? He looks great, too. And honestly, you can do maybe some things that you did with Mike Williams in that player. But it's just the margin between these players, especially if you're picking at 5. I could entertain these, some of these other players, like Rome that we're seeing today, or Coleman, if you do trade down a little bit, right? But the gap between, let's say, Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors is pretty, maybe not as significant as some people think. I think it's significant enough, right? You got wide receiver 1. Someone would say 1B. I'm going to say wide receiver 2, even though he would be 1 in many other drafts. Like most other drafts, he'd be wide receiver 1 in Malik Neighbors. And then after that, there is kind of a gap. So if the Chargers do go wide receiver, I would want to stick and pick and grab Malik Neighbors. If, of course, Marvin Harrison is not available. If we're going wide receiver again, it's got to be Neighbors. Hands down, nobody else. Got to be Neighbors. He's the biggest difference maker. And if we trade down, sure, I would be excited about some of these other names, but Neighbors is a much bigger impact than even any of these other guys, I have to imagine. Would I consider Manti Te'o a bust? I would consider Manti Te'o just a sad story, man. I was always a fan of him. Of course, a lot of us watched him coming in from Notre Dame. I don't know if you guys watched the Netflix program that they did on him. Absolutely fantastic. But man, that dude's story is tragic, dude. And I think a lot of that got to his head, and it did affect his performance on the field. One of the best Notre Dame players ever. Of course it had something to do with his decline. Of course. Coleman's a dog. Yeah, he is. These are great players, too, man. These are great players. All these players, great players. Solidified first rounders, right? First rounders for a reason. Early first rounders, a lot of them. But again, Malik, you have to. This is all in the conversation of what you're doing at 5, right? What are you doing at 5? What are you doing at 5? Yes, I would take Coleman if we're positioned a little later, right? I would take a lot of these other guys if I was positioned a little later. Even like guys in contention for me at other positions that I think are going to be harder to find, like let's say cornerback. Kool-Aid's not even in, my radar right now for picking at 5. But Neighbors, if he's there, you got to do it. So what I'm thinking right now is that the Chargers at least are going to have one of these two options at pick 5. You're going to have Malik Neighbors, or you're going to have Brock Bowers. And if you're sticking, I think you got to pick one of those two guys. You're going to have one of those two available, right? Not McCarthy. Williams going to get picked. Penix could get picked. Drake could get picked, right? That's 3. Like, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen at quarterback before the Chargers at pick 5? But I do believe that Marvin Harrison's going before the Chargers, so that's another player. I do think the Chargers are going to have at least one of those two guys to pick from. And I don't think you're going to lose with either one. Honestly, both of them are such impact players at those positions. Huge impact players. Neighbors is your wide receiver 1. After Keenan Allen exits, maybe he starts transitioning to wide receiver 2 as Neighbors transitions to wide receiver 1 over the next year. But Bowers, man, I don't know, dude. You know what's another big thing in common that a lot of these teams had? As the Michigan's going to bring it out, and they're going to get pummeled inside the 15. Here comes McCarthy. You know what's another big thing that these coaches and these quarterbacks had in common? Of course, the one on the right hasn't happened. Hopefully it does. You guys remember who Dan Fouts' tight end was? Huh? You guys remember his tight end? Remember a man by the name of Kellen Winslow, one of the best ever to play the sport? You see that man in the middle, Phillip Rivers? You know who his tight end was? Huh? Antonio Gates, one of the best tight ends ever to play the sport. Maybe we got to get that for Justin Herbert. And honestly, Brock Bowers has the ability to become one of the best tight ends to ever play the sport. He really does. Oops. He really does. He really does. Here comes 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. It's going to be an I-form run. And nice tackle broken by Blake Corum. But he'll get swarmed right afterwards. Still Forward progress is going to give him a gain of about 4. It'll be second and medium coming up for the Wolverines. Brock Bowers. If history is to repeat itself, we need to get Justin Herbert, that dog, at tight end. We can trade down and still get Bowers. That is a scenario that we need to talk more about because I absolutely think that is possible, and it might be the move. It really might be the move. Here comes McCarthy on the play action. He finds his man, number 1, all the way down to the sideline. That's a huge bomb. We're going to run it, baby. Woo! What a big play. And a nice pass, dude. Oh, McCarthy. Where are we now, man? Definitely into Huskies territory. What a nice pass on that crosser. That'll be Wilson with the reception. Catch and run for an additional, 5-10 yards? And a big play for the Wolverines. Gets them all the way to the 46-yard line, baby. Let's go. What a play. Here comes a short throw to follow that up. It'll be an incomplete to number 82, 2nd and 10 coming up. A nice play. McCarthy to Roman Wilson for almost 40 yards there, man. Yeah, the pressure's definitely not coming in from the Huskies. Ooh, almost intercepted, too. That could have been a disaster. Coach Harbaugh on the sideline not happy about that. Here comes 2nd and 10 for McCarthy and the Wolverines. And Donovan Edwards at running back is going to make a nice cut. Edwards to the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Wolverines. Could Donovan Edwards be building a resume? Oh, my goodness, man. Woo! Where was he at before? 4th round? I mean, who knows, dude? I like the cut of his jib, baby. I wouldn't mind that man in Los Angeles. Dang, Edwards. Another 46-yard touchdown for Donovan Edwards, baby. Wow. Edwards, 2 carries, 2 touchdowns, and over 80 yards. My word. That's the run game we need. Might even go offensive line in the first round. If we stick and pick, no offensive line. If we trade down, then I would maybe be a bit. It would still be tough, but I'd be more about it if we did trade down. It is on ESPN, Sage. ESPN. Wow, dude, Donovan Edwards, dude, this guy's nasty. Let's go, man. Let's go take a look at this guy's measurables. Yeah, he's big, baby. 6'1", 210. 23 season wasn't anything crazy. 393 and 3. But he kind of feels like the was it Rashawn Johnson? Of that situation. Of course, nothing even close to that combo of him and Bijan, but still, dude, like very, very nice. I like the way this kid moves, dude. He's got some power behind him as well. I remember turn off the button, director. Yeah, that was nice, dude. A couple of really, really nice plays right there. Donovan Edwards looks nice. Of course, I still do think that Blake Corum is the better prospect right now. But you never know, man. You never know. 5th pick, who we get? Bro, I'm still catching up in the 2nd round. I went out and so the first thing I like to do in and around this time of year, especially, I would say when the Chargers are out of contention. Otherwise, I like to stick to what's going on in Chargers football. But now that it's over, the first thing I do is I print out the first 150 players on a big board, and I kind of just start skimming the surface. And then I'll start going in and researching them. But it takes a long time, man. I can't assume that I'll be anywhere near comfortable with any of that until, like, March, maybe? We'll get there. 5th round, though, if I had to give a position, I would hope that at the depth, maybe a linebacker or something. Here comes Penix. He's going to run for about 8 yards there, maybe 7. It'll be 2nd down for Washington. Now needing to play catch-up with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And Michigan with a 14-3 lead. Need a running back that's going to want to play here, yeah. And, honestly, this running back class isn't, like, my favorite. There's some really good guys in here, and I think there's some that are worth taking. But when it comes to price at certain positions in free agency, running back's, like, at the bottom. Maybe we do sign a Derrick Henry for a year and just buy ourselves time to, like, go and draft somebody next year. You know what I mean? I think the Chargers do draft a running back this year, let's be honest. We have Isaiah Spiller, and I think that's pretty much it going into next season. But we don't have a lot of money to work with. Maybe we solve one of our biggest problems with the little money that we have to work with. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to cost a lot to get Derrick Henry in there. It actually isn't. If Dalvin Cook went and played for pennies, I guarantee you Derrick Henry's not going to cost a lot of money. 3rd and 5. For the Huskies, Pennick's going to fire off to the sideline. You got to make that tackle. Yes, sir. Dude, who is number 0? Oh, that's that corner. Nice play by the Wolverines. Not letting up. It's going to be a 4th down for the Huskies. You guys got to help me out with the pronunciation here. Okay, I went and looked them up. I cannot remember. It's Sainristil, right? Sainristil. Nice play, dude. Nice friggin' play, man. Could have easily been broke and go for the first down. Instead, here come the Huskies to punt it away. Bad punt. Good bounce, but bad punt. And the Wolverines are going to start in and around the 21-yard line. Wow, dude. What a play by that corner. I like that. Good tackle. Yeah, definitely didn't let him get away. I've seen so many Chargers plays where that exact same situation results in a broken tackle and like a 30, 40-yard touchdown, baby. Wow. Team needs a left tackle. We have a left tackle. We need a right tackle. There's some great tackles in this draft too, but I'm telling you guys, the difference that even like a Joe Alt would make is significant, but I promise you, Brock Bowers at tight end would make a bigger impact. He would. We could figure out right tackle. Brock Bowers does not come around very often. Maybe ever again, right? Malik Neighbors doesn't come around very often, right? Maybe, yeah, you see a player of his caliber once every like 5 years or so. Oh, and big play by Blake Corum. Corum could go all the way. Are you kidding me with this run game? Corum breaks into the middle, and he's going to get tackled at the 20-yard line. What's happening? Whoa! 47 yards. This Michigan run game is unstoppable. Dude, this cut by Corum is unbelievable, too. That sharp cut in the middle. Tries to maneuver around number 7 of the Huskies to take it to the house. He was very close to doing that. And that'll bring us to the close of the first quarter. Dude, these Wolverines have to have well over, 150 yards on the ground already. In one quarter. 174 yards for the Michigan Wolverines in one quarter. Donovan Edwards with 87 and 2. Corum with 73. And Mullings with 18. Unbelievable start for this Wolverines offense, which is just destroying Washington on the ground. Oh, my goodness. Are we going to see another instance of the Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll interaction, this time with the Washington coach? What's your deal? What's your deal? Let's run it up, coach. Wow. Wow. If this offense Harbaugh brings to LSU, yeah, dude, that's one big thing we've been harping about. Chargers need a run. We haven't had a run game in forever. Austin Eckler's looked great, but he's a supplement like to the run game, right? You're talking about a guy that can pass a bunch or get a bunch of short passes to kind of help supplement the run. We haven't had a really decent run game since, let's be honest, Melvin Gordon. And that was a halfway decent run game. Jim Harbaugh, this man knows how to run the football. It's been part of his identity since the beginning. Was shined upon in San Francisco in the NFL with Frank Gore, of course. But my word. So hard of a game. My nephew played it Oh, but I want Harbaugh on the Bullets. Yeah, that's tough when you got loved ones with the connections. First rule with the 5. Isn't it cool how excited we are for the possibility of a new head coach after a season like the one we just had? Loyal fans always bolt up. I think it speaks miles to see, like, even right now, dude, this isn't even a Chargers game, man. We got 600 people in here. Sure, we average like 1,000 to 15 on Chargers game day, but still 600 people in a non-Chargers game in support of the idea of improvement. Sure, it's going to be one of the biggest improvements ever in franchise history if it does happen. That's awesome. We went from one of the worst seasons I've ever seen as a Chargers fan. Yeah, I think in my lifetime, yeah, the worst. To 600 people in the chat excited about the prospect of maybe a Jim Harbaugh coming to the Bolts. Let's go, baby. And that's not even a guarantee. This is the idea of it. That's why we're here. Go Wolverines. Thank you so much for the 5, man. Taylor with the 5 says, my boy streaming just saw Bowers. Dude. Hey, do yourself a favor if you're a Chargers fan in here, man. Please, go watch Brock Bowers. Even if it's like a 5-minute highlight reel, please. I promise. You'll be converted to the Church of Bowers by the end of the playoffs. Like, we're all going to be on the Bowers train. Maybe some people won't. I get that. But, like, it is one of the biggest outliers in terms of what you're going to find in skill set at the tight end position. Maybe, I don't know, maybe ever in the NFL draft. He looks absolutely insane. He's going to help improve the run with his blocking. He's going to help improve pass pro if you ask him to do so. I probably wouldn't. And he's going to give you to the house ability from the tight end position. Just think about that. We don't really even have wide receivers that can take it all the way to the house. A tight end with that kind of speed, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've watched several 25-minute vids of Bowers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Hugo. Here comes another carry by Corum, who's going to nice spin, break some tackles. Went from a no gain to a gain of about 4. Dude, excellent play on the offensive line, too, for the Wolverines this game. Who do we have on the Wolverines as far as offensive linemen? The one I have written down is Zach Zinter. Don't they have a nice center as well? What's their center's name? Is it Nugent? Yeah, it's Nugent. Nugent's not a bad option there, too, man. I remember looking at him thinking, yeah, maybe that wouldn't be bad if you were looking at a later round guy. That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look. Is Zinter the center? I have him listed as guard. Here comes another carry. This one's only going to go for a couple of yards. This time it's number 20. And we're looking at 3rd down for the Wolverines. Oh, Zach got hurt. He's the center. Okay. Maybe he's just an interior offensive lineman over here. On my list, at least. But yeah, he's listed as a 4th rounder. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about that at all. I know a lot of people want Powers Johnson, too, which obviously I think a lot of us would be excited about. Another duck on the roster, protecting Justin Herbert. I think a lot of us would be happy about that. What round do you think Logan Wilson will go? Logan Wilson. Do we have him listed on here? We should. Oh, no, I was thinking Roman Wilson. He's a 3rd or 4th rounder. Logan Wilson, I don't know. Give a quick check, though. It's like, I thought I wrote him down. No, you didn't, director. I want to make sure to actually keep this open as well. We can reference it when needed. I have them listed on here. We need a center. Yes, we do. So for those of you guys that didn't see as well, the Chargers held like a press conference day, end of the year kind of thing. And Corey Linsley came out and finally gave us a little update on what's going on. We still don't know the issue with his heart. It's an non-football related issue that we hope that he recovers from quickly. We just hope that his quality of life isn't affected in any way, right? But he did say there's a 99% chance that he retires, which first off, we appreciate so much what he brought to the Chargers and to the sport, even with the Green Bay Packers. We hope that he enjoys retirement. And I actually kind of hope he sticks around as an offensive line coach or something, man. This dude is just so smart in how he operates, how he led the Chargers offensive line. More than likely, if he decides to do that, he probably goes back to Green Bay. Either way, it opens up some cap for the Chargers in and around like $10, $11 million. And the Chargers will have a huge need at center, though. That's a big need for this offense in particular. I would say for Justin Herbert in particular. He needs a good center. And it's one that the Chargers should invest, I would say, day 2, early day 3 at the very latest. Let's grab some of these super chats while we're waiting for the break here to conclude. We got Lord Vader. Are you the one that I replied to on Twitter this morning talking about the Corey Linsley cap? What's up, dude? Rise. I'm just going to have Emperor quotes the rest of this stream. Can I just read that one as the Emperor? Jim needs to be the hire next week. Herbert has no run game and no defense. If he goes back to Michigan, fine. We cannot allow him to go to the Raiders. Do what must be done. Dean Spanos. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy. Let's go! We need Jim in here, baby. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. First rule with the Fives is be honest. You already have your Charger signed Jim Harbaugh highlight video ready to drop. Maybe. It's so much work to do something like that, but I have been tinkering around with like which maybe song I will use. I don't know. It should be fun. It should be fun. Thank you, Lord Vader. And thank you, First Rule. Here comes Michigan. On a 3rd and 4, need to convert here. And McCarthy's going to go to the sideline. Incomplete. Nicely defended by number 1 of the Washington Huskies. It'll be 4th and 4 and likely a field goal try here for the Michigan Wolverines, which should keep this a 2-score lead. Thunderstruck! Didn't sound great for Corey. Sounds like he said he may be done. Yeah. Great fool for 10 years. Yeah, dude was amazing. Taylor with a 2 says, you see the news on Lindsay. Yeah. Thank you for the $2 haul, though. Yeah, we did. And the kick is up for Michigan, and it is good. It is good. And the Wolverines are going to lead 17-3. As the Huskies will get another opportunity on offense with 13 and a half minutes left in the first half. Raiders found their coach. We can all hope. They got to bring in that guy, dude, AP, right? They got to bring him in. Is it Pierce, right? That dude, went crazy. Went crazy at interim. I know all the players want him back. Who said that? As a obvious Chargers fan. As a loyal Vegas and Oakland Raiders fan of 15, 20 years, I got to tell you, okay, Alex deserves the job. All right? We can't even go out there and interview anyone else. The players want him. The fans demand him. This Harbaugh guy can go kick rocks, okay? This man is the next coach of the Vegas Raiders. Just making sure we're not missing any news here. Chargers request an interview with Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. Why don't you slide us over some of them team secrets and then be on your way? Okay. Moving on. That's what, 5 coaching requests at this point? Doing our due diligence? Kind of like they sound, though. Vader says, when is it actually realistic for us to hire Jim? So the Chargers are going through their coaching protocols right now. As reference, the Chargers, the last time we had a hire, made it official on January 5th. No, I think it was 17th of 2021. So I would expect it to be within the next week. It could move a lot faster because of how highly demanded Jim Harbaugh is. And you're going to want to scoop him up before anyone else has a chance to. So the Chargers will be wise to get a lot of these interviews done. So that as soon as Harbaugh is ready, they can just hand him a contract and have him sign on the dotted line. First pass on this drive for the Huskies is going to go for 10 yards and a first down. And Penix looking pretty sharp. I'll give you guys one. Penix looks amazing coming into this year's draft. There's going to be another team that's going to look for him. Who knows where he gets drafted? Where is he ranked? At least on this sheet here. He's ranked... actually, I didn't write it down. Just first round. Penix, Penix, Penix. I know Rome was before him, well before him. Maybe like a mid-first round, who knows? Penix sets up. He's going to fire middle of the field. Oh, nice reception at midfield. Yo, who was that? Nice reception. Didn't quite catch the number there. Penix is ranked 19 right now, so he'll be a mid-first rounder, but someone's going to reach for him. I have to assume he'll be just outside the top 10, maybe inside the top 10. Who knows? Here comes a carry up the middle. Number 7's going to get swallowed up. He'll get a gain of maybe a yard. He'll be second and long coming up. Raiders will draft Penix. They could. They probably should. There's actually a lot of teams. I'm going to go grab that real quick. Actually, I'll put it on this little side one. This has actually been quite a helpful little ab right here. Tankathon. Go with that one. Tankathon! Penix's ADP would put him in and around the realm of teams like Chicago, Minnesota, Denver, Vegas, New Orleans, Seattle, Tampa. I got to assume one of those teams is going to pick him up. So, yeah, I think Penix to the Raiders could happen. The Rooney Rule. Yep, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute for the Chargers to officially be in place to sign a Jim Harbaugh. Even if he's ready to sign tonight, we'd have to probably wait a few days at least. Now, the offense is going to get flagged on this next play. That's going to push him back. They were at midfield. But do we got to wait for playoffs to do interviews? I think some of them, yes. Others, no. I think the any teams that you're, any personnel that you're requesting outside of the postseason can be interviewed now. And I think you got to wait for postseason guys later. You could still technically get all your interviews done. Oh, Penix is going to get sacked. No, he's going to get that thing away at the last second. Throws into traffic, and it's incomplete. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. 3rd and 14 coming up for the Huskies. 3rd and 14. Am I correct in saying that, chat? I know that you cannot interview postseason coaches and coordinators while they're still in the tournament, but I think you can interview teams that have been eliminated, right? And if that's the case, per the Rooney Rule, you can get all those things done before the playoffs have even concluded. Is that correct in saying? Penix is 23. That's not old. Yeah, that's not. I mean, he's not the youngest guy, but it's definitely not old. Here comes 3rd and 14. Another flag and maybe another false start on the Huskies. Juan with the 5 says front office should trade down with the Falcons for the 8th and their 2nd, then draft Bowers 8th, Mondre Sweat, and some offensive linemen in the 2nd. That would be a solid value, dude. And honestly, there are people that think that Bowers doesn't get drafted. Some people say 8 to 10, 8 to 12. I think y'all are crazy. And honestly, I think we've seen this before. I think we're all saying around the same for Kyle Pitts. And he ended up going like really early, like 6 or something like that, right? He ended up going really early. I think the same's going to happen with Brock Bowers, especially since Brock Bowers, in my opinion, is going to be a better prospect than even Kyle Pitts. It's going to be a pass over the middle. Going to be about 10 yards short and a 4th down. Another punt coming up for the Huskies, and a really good start to this game if you're a Michigan fan, baby. Dude, Juan, thank you so much for the 5, but that is going to be a scenario that we need to pay attention to because that still does put some nice players in your range if you find some value trading down to 8, right? So if you trade down to 8, some of the players in that range that you're probably looking at, I know that defensive lineman's going to be a hot name, Newton, right? He'll be a hot name. There's some other tackles like Fashanu that you can go after. That'll be a solid value with that pick. Adunze that we're watching today would be a solid pick from the Washington Huskies. Here comes a play on 4th and 7. They're going for it. Oh! It's incomplete! Dropped! They went for it. They didn't get it. And the receiver dropped it. And guess who it was, baby? Maybe that's fate right there. Adunze dropped it, man. Rome dropped it. Rome dropped it. We were just talking about, hey, maybe it'll be a value for trade down. Get Rome instead, you know. I mean, maybe not the best throw, but I'm 4th down. You got to make that happen. He even waved it down, dude. Oh. Not the best pass. Not the best pass. I'll admit that. Not the best pass, but definitely catchable. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my God. What a tragic play for the Huskies. That is some PTSD right there for Chargers fans of the 2023 season. I'll tell you what. We got a young man by the name of Quentin Johnson. He's going to need a little bit more time. We're not giving up on him quite yet, but that was a pretty signature move of the 23 season that we saw every week, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, Penix looks so good. I mean, yeah. Can't be picky, though, if you're a quarterback. Luckily, we're not. We're good. We don't have to worry about that. We're going to upsell other quarterbacks, though, to maybe help our draft position a little bit, especially if we decide to trade down. But I don't know. I think there's still some solid players. Let's go back to that list real quick. Who's still in that range? Dunze is not bad. Brock Bowers could still be available there. I just don't think he makes it past like 7 or 8. Maybe 6 even. He's that special of a prospect. He really, really is. Joe Alt's going to be taken in the top 6 as well. He's amazing. Like Neighbors. It's so tough because when you're at 5, there's really only a pocket of players that you're considering, right? At that value, there's only a couple of guys that stand out, and they really have to stand out at their positions. And the players that really stand out at their positions this year, Caleb Williams, we don't need him. Marvin Harrison Jr., the best player in this draft, we're not going to get him. Like 99% chance that he gets drafted before 5. If he doesn't, holy crap. Malik Neighbors, I would actually say Brock Bowers does more at his position than Malik Neighbors does, which is pretty special because they're both amazing prospects, right? Amazing. And then Joe Alt's pretty special too, but I think the other positions do more, or the other players do more for their position than even Joe Alt. Crazy. Alt is going at 5. We trade down. I mean, yeah, we could trade down, dude. We could trade down. If we trade down and still get Brock, that's like the best thing that could ever happen. We would likely, at pick 5, you're at least looking at what, like a second rounder? You guys want to see how this works? Hey, Tara! Hey, I know your hatred for the Huskies just runs so deep. They run so deep. I'm sure you're excited to see how this game started off. Tara, did you see that last play? You see it, huh? You see that last play? They went for it on 4th and like 7 or something. Penix had a wide open Dunze and overthrew him a little bit, but it was a catchable ball. It was also dropped, just a dropped effort by both players. Tragic. Tragic if you're a Washington Huskies fan. Tragic. Real quick, too, I want to show you guys this because this is kind of fun. This is something I tinker around with in the offseason all the time. Let's go ahead and actually say LSD. This is your draft value chart. This kind of helps you in terms of, like, if you do make a trade involving picks, this is the value that your pick currently holds, right? So if the Chargers trade, you guys are asking if the Chargers trade up for, like, Marvin Harrison, you're looking at 17 to 22. So that's 500 points of difference. So you would have to give up in and around the realm of a second-round pick in order to trade up. So you have to give up your first and a second to get pick number 3, which is possible, but I don't know if that's something you want to do with such a high pick in the second round, right? Here comes Corum with the carry on their first play of this offensive drive. He'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage. Second down coming up. So if you guys are talking in terms of trade, though, it goes the other way around, too. The Chargers pick right here worth a lot of moolah. A lot of moolah. And if we're talking, let's say, Atlanta Falcons, who do currently hold 8, right? It's pick number 8. Yeah. Look how much difference, in how much drastically different this these values look like, right? So the Chargers at 5, Falcons at 8. It's 1,400 versus set. So it's going to be a difference of 300 points. So Atlanta is going to have to give up, at very minimum, a second-round pick and more. Now, you could give up a second-round pick, and then maybe the Chargers give up a later-round pick to even that thing out. But it's all just basically math, right? If you make the math work, trading down or up can start to make sense at some points. Here comes a pass by McCarthy. It'll be on the sideline. Nicely defended by the Huskies. It'll be knocked out, incomplete. 3rd and long coming up for Michigan. What's up, Infinite? First-time chatter, long-time Bull fan, viewer of the channel. Love the content. Hey, dude, Infinite, love you, dude. Love you, too, dude. Appreciate the love. Let's go Michigan today, baby. Let's go Harbaugh. Will we trade pick in our own division? Very unlikely. It doesn't happen too often. 3rd and 10. McCarthy. Oh, throws way too high for Johnson on the sideline. It'll be a 3 and out. And the Wolverines are going to have to punt this thing away. Giving the Huskies another opportunity here to try and close that gap. Hopefully that is not the case. Get Fashanu or Jared Verse would be pretty exciting. Chop Robinson that early, though, if we do trade down. Obviously, all these guys for trade down. Didn't track well. Couldn't make the whole adjustment. Yeah, it's up. What about Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid would be an awesome pick, actually, if we decided to trade down. That wouldn't be too bad. It's so hard to find corners in this league, man. You got to draft them. And even then, it's still kind of a gamble, but he's one that you have to take. Where is he ranked right here? Kool-Aid's got to be in the top 15, right? Kool-Aid McKintree, where are you? Where is he? Arian Arnold. He's also great. Oh, they have him down at 20. Nah. McKinstry's got to be what? In the top 15 at least. Arian Arnold is also a great prospect too. Who's their number one corner? Nate Wiggins? That would actually be pretty nasty as well. 6'2", got some speed on him. That would be nice. Is that their number one corner? I do believe it is. No, Cooper, is it Dejan? 6'1". Yeah, there's some nice corners. If you do trade down, it's probably not a bad idea to target that position on defense in particular. But 5 is such a rare opportunity, man. I kind of want to stake and pick and get that huge blue chip difference maker. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got this. Dude, Michigan right now put in a pretty good position. We're all going to be celebrating hard for our guy Jim Harbaugh and then keeping our eyes glued to Twitter. All social media platforms waiting the any sniff of news. Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers shortly after. Best available that's not quarterback is definitely Marvin Harrison. But if we don't, let's say outside of Marvin Harrison, who's the best available? Outside of the quarterback position, it's Malik Neighbors. I think you got two of the best receivers you're going to see in a while in this draft. And then shortly after that, I would say it's Brock Bowers. But that's what they have ranked here on PFF as far as that carries for you guys. They also have Joe Alt before Brock Bowers. I just think Brock Bowers, to me, I would say in terms of talent in this draft, it's Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe then Brock Bowers. Honestly, dude. Honestly, like that's how high I hold him in this draft. Like he is such a difference maker. In terms of pure talent at the position, right, I honestly do think it's Bowers right after Marvin Harrison. It's that crazy to me. You guys might think I'm crazy, but maybe I am. Maybe I haven't done enough research yet. It's still early. But what a heck of a football player, dude. What's the likelihood Harbaugh doesn't come to us, instead goes to the Raiders? I don't want to jinx it. I would say that there is a possibility there, right? But I would say that it's low because of the situation he'd be put in Vegas. Like, you don't have much to work with out there, especially at quarterback. You're going to be stuck without a quarterback for a minute. Unless they are willing to trade up big time, it would be very difficult for them to grow, even with Harbaugh. Here comes Penix, who's going to get obliterated. Yo! Kenneth Grant with a huge sack from the middle of the defensive line. And that's going to drive back the Huskies, what, like 10 yards? Oh, what a dominant pancake right there, dude. Yo! That's a play on defense. That's a play on defense. Wow. Bullied that man. That was a freakishly athletic play from the big boy in the middle. Yipers. What if he goes to the Raiders and brings in McCarthy? He could, but like still, that's tough. Here comes Penix with a pass over the middle. It's going to hit the turf. Incomplete. Almost a spectacular grab by number 11. Just a little bit too short. It's going to be like 3rd and 20-something now, man. Wow. I believe we can trade back with the Titans, Giants, maybe the Falcons. Still get Bowers. More picks. Win-win. What do you think? I still think that is an excellent option on the table. If you are very confident, you still get your guy. If you think there's any chance that you miss out on your guy, whether it's Bowers, whether it's Neighbors, whatever, you stick and pick, right? You stick and pick. But if you can pull that off and get that value, because you're going to get some value, and Brock Bowers in the end, Chef's kiss of a maneuver. Bravo. Here's the flowers for the new GM. Here comes 3rd and 22. Penix, he's got a work cut out for him. He's going to pass underneath to number 7. He's going to get walloped well short of the first down. And it's going to be 4th and like 10 and another punt incoming by the Huskies. He's using the Raiders for leverage, most likely. That is a very intelligent take. I'm going to tell you that right now. Harbaugh is a strategist. He could be using the Chargers as leverage with Michigan. Who knows? He could go back and say, hey, give me 150 and we got a deal, right? Give me 150 like the Chargers would. 150 million over 10 years. And I'll come back to Michigan. That could be the case going on right now. It really could. But if he's serious about going to the NFL, which everybody says he is, then you say, well, the Raiders are interested, and they're offering 15. Maybe we bump that up to 17, 18 if you're the Chargers. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And if it were me, and if you ask me, is John on the sideline with Jim? Adorable. That's adorable. That's adorable. John Harbaugh just came running on the sideline, gave his brother a hug. What was I going to say? If I'm Jim Harbaugh, and the Raiders are offering me 20 a year, and the Chargers are offering me 15 or 16 or whatever, I still go with the Chargers because of the situation. You got to. The situation's so much better with the Chargers. So much better. Those brothers are goated, man. Dude, who said it? It was Colin Cowherd, right? He says, if you want it's a slam dunk in the NFL, you hire a Harbaugh. That's what he says, man. And he's so right. Here comes Corum. Nice blocking and nice run by Corum. It's going to be a pickup of 7. 2nd and short coming up. Jim and John, baby. Jim and John. And the Harbaugh parents, are they kicking? Good for them. How much do you think we can get back? Again, if you reference the trade value chart, if you trade with a team like the Falcons, you're getting a 3rd rounder in change. If you trade down even further, you're getting a 2nd rounder, but you could maybe convince me they get a 2nd rounder if the Chargers, let's say, give up a 1st and like a 5th or 6th as well. Here comes a carry by number 10. Ooh, nice room off the sideline. And it'll be a huge first down. And what's been a powerful running attack for Michigan. And they're going to be in and around midfield after that play. It'll be 1st and 10 more for McCarthy and the Wolverines. 200 rush yards in the first half is insane. Yeah, dude, Chargers, can you imagine? Please. We need help so bad. We need a run game, period. Can you imagine that? We face the Ravens next season. Imagine week 1 primetime Jim versus John. You know that gif out there, Hugo? Just you'll see director poking from behind a tree. Just that matchup, dude. It'll be nothing. There will be no other narratives on NFL Network. It'll be just that. Here comes a run up the middle. Looks like an option play. Who's getting all these carries? Orgy? Is that how you say his name? Anyway, he's gonna go for 2 yards. His brother knows where he's going. Yeah, I bet he does. That name on that player's jersey feels like when you guys come up with your stupid usernames that trick me into saying something naughty, get in trouble with YouTube. 2nd and 8. It'll be there's a big injury. I kind of missed what happened there. Is that Muhammad? That was the corner that we were keeping an eye on from the Huskies as a possible look for the Chargers in the late rounds. Hopefully he's okay. He's grabbing at that hand pretty good. What it looked like was a blown-up run, nicely defended by the corner, but it looks like he jammed that fist pretty good. Maybe elbow. Hopefully one is okay. Lord Vader. Slater on the left. Alt on the right. Herbert protected. Yes, that's a very nice thought to have. It really is. Like, that is seriously some nice protection for your QB. I'll have to wait and see if the value makes sense, but it's certainly, you could do a lot worse. Hopefully number 1 is okay for the Huskies. Miguel says, would it be insane if Bauer's neighbors MHJ go in the first 4 picks? Not at all. Honestly, I think for the situation that the certain teams are in, yes, it would be insane. But in terms of value, no. That's who should be going first in this draft. It should be Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, You could argue Joe Alt or Brock Bowers, either or, depending on your situation, but those should be the top guys. But because of need on these teams and the value of the quarterback position, Caleb Williams, then insert other quarterbacks, Drake May, Pennick, whatever. Like, you got three hugely, I would say even four, hugely quarterback-needy teams in front of the Chargers. At least two are going in front of us. At least two. The two quarterbacks, Marvin Harrison Jr., I do expect to have our pick of Neighbors or Bowers. We're going to get an Ers, almost guaranteed. Because at number 2, you got Washington. Washington could really do some work in the future, man. I mean, who thought Sam Howell was going to be a thing? Like 5 people? Maybe that's why Ron Rivera's getting fired. You get Caleb Williams in there. Actually, let me go ahead and filter. Because you're gonna reach, even though. There we go. Drake May is gonna go number 2. It was Jaden Daniels I was thinking of. I was like, I'm having a brain fart right now. Jaden Daniels may even go top 10. Who knows? Like, someone's gonna reach. Some people even seem to think that, because New England is very, very quarterback needy. If both those two teams go quarterback, who says that New England doesn't go quarterback and add, Jaden Daniels to that list right in front of us? That would push so much talent. Because then you'll see Marvin Harrison Jr. go off the board, probably with the Cardinals, right? Then you would have your choice between Neighbors and Bowers at that point. Value would tell you to take Neighbors. My gut would say to take Bowers. But either way, you're in a good position. You're in a very, very good position. And some would even say, and this is insane to think about, but who knows where these guys are going. Some have said, what if this scenario goes down? New England Patriots are very confident in getting a quarterback because they think for sure that Chicago or Washington is getting Marvin Harrison Jr., right? If it gets to pick number 3 and they're expecting Drake May to be there, and he's not, and maybe they don't love Jaden Daniels as much as everybody else does, or another quarterback on the board, they could trade down. Could the Chargers be that partner? Maybe. And then the Chargers get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the only way I see the Chargers being linked to Marvin Harrison Jr. at all. They'd have to jump the Cardinals. They would. They would. But you never know. Here comes 3rd and 8 after the break. Washington needing to get that momentum back after those big run play drives. Are going to hand it off again. And they're going to pick up a solid pocket of yards. Maybe enough for a field goal attempt. But it'll still be 4th down and maybe 3. In and around like the 38-yard line-ish. We should get Brock Bowers. I feel, yeah. That's kind of the thoughts right now revolving around the Chargers fandom. And it certainly could end up being the case at by the time that the draft rolls around. Malik Neighbors, though, he's going to make life very difficult for all of us in a good way. He is so damn good, dudes. I think it's a win-win at this point. Like, unless the impossible happens and everybody gets drafted before us, which I think is very unlikely, at that point you just trade down and let somebody get their quarterback. Neighbors or Bowers would be just such a slam dunk for this upcoming season. Such a slam dunk. Either next wide receiver 1 for the Chargers, solidified, or tight end 1 for the Chargers, maybe top 5 tight end in the league pretty quickly, and then some. Because you also have to think about Brock Bowers as a wide receiver. Like, you really do. Like a slot guy, right? You got to think of him that way. A slot, like maybe one of the best slot wide receivers in the draft is Brock Bowers, who adds huge blocking upside at the tight end position. Huge. Because this dude's fast, man. Just wait till the combine. Wait till the combine. Just wait. He's going to run a sub 4.5. I promise. This dude's going to be nasty in terms of his speed, his ability to stretch the field. Not many teams have that. And if they do, maybe they don't have the other things that Bowers possesses in terms of blocking, in terms of routes, in terms of hands, in terms of yak. It's incredible. It's incredible. You can revolve your entire offense around the idea of Herbert and Bowers. Year 1, Bowers is in the league. Almost guaranteed. You can build a system revolving around those two players, and it probably would slay. Here comes 4th and 3, and they are going for it. Michigan on the 39-yard line are going for it. The audible to a tight formation. And McCarthy with 10 seconds on the clock. He'll snap it. Here we go, Michigan. It's going to be a pass to the sideline, incomplete, and turnover on downs for the Huskies. Huskies will take over here and maybe giving themselves a window they needed to get back in this game. I know Tara doesn't like that. I know Tara doesn't like that at all. Top free agent center is the Dolphin center. Yeah, and we don't have much to work with in terms of money this season, but I think some of the best stretched money you can spend this year are at positions that don't cost a lot. They can still get really good talent. And the number one position, in my opinion, is going to be running back. This season, there's some good running backs. Maybe decent running backs, but not my favorite running back class, I'll be honest. Why not just use some of that money, the little that you have to make a difference maker from free agency, buy yourself some time for maybe next season. Let's see some of these guys, though. There are some running backs that I do like. There's going to be a run by the Huskies. It's going to pick up 6 yards. Jonathan Brooks, Blake Corum, Trey Benson's a pretty big fan favorite. He'd be nice. Donovan Edwards, another player from Michigan that we're watching right now. Bucky Irving, I know that a lot of Oregon fans would be excited to see him. There's some decent running backs, but they're all like third, fourth round guys, right? There's no even second fringe first round guy this season. It's all like mid round guys. So why not get Derrick Henry, buy yourself some time, even if it's a 1-year contract, and write out his value. Here comes 1st and 10 for the Huskies. It'll be a gain of 2 after a run by Dylan Johnson. 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8 in the Washington 45-ish. Little Frank Gore Jr. action going on. As a Charger fan, I didn't like Harbaugh going for it on 4th down. Little PTSD there. Here comes Penix. He's going to flip it upfield over the middle. Player has to avoid an official, but still fights for the 1st down. That's Rome with the 1st. And the Huskies now firmly in Michigan territory, in and around the 35-yard line. 35-yard line. Michigan got this in the bag. We got to play it safe. You never know what could happen in matchups like these, man. Michigan's got to pick up the pace here. Here comes another pass over the middle. Michigan kind of leaving the middle of the field wide open. Couple of plays in a row. Here comes another 1st down reception by the Huskies. Who was the receiver there? I think they're tight end, number 37, maybe H-back. Definitely need to find some more momentum if you're Michigan at this point. Mr. Kaw with the 20. What is going on? We're just chilling. Thank you, dude. Here comes another underneath throw for Penix. It's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. He goes to the $20 Hall. Director, a long time since I've been present for a live event. I want to show appreciation. Go Bolts, go Wolverines. Mr. Kaw. Thank you, my man. I'm still shocked that we got 600 people in here for a not Chargers game. Blows my mind. Then we get some super chats on top of that. Thank you, dude. Mr. Call with the 20. Give him some love in the chat, man. Big ups, dude. Thank you. That's awful kind of you, man. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Here comes 2nd and 10 for the Huskies. One's in the chat if you guys are wearing your best navies today. Chargers navies in support of Jim. Here comes 2nd and 10. Deep ball by Penix. And it's going to be incomplete. There was some physical fighting there at the line of scrimmage. No flag. I don't know if you should have thrown one there or not, man, but it looked a little messy over there. Kind of tripping on himself at first, though. Nah, that's not a flag. Dunze tripped on his own 2 feet, caused some contact, and now we got 3rd and 10 coming up for the Huskies. Nice, man. Nice. You got my Navy underwear on. Oh, okay. Neat. Thank you again, Mr. Claw. Here comes 3rd and 10.
Yo,
you found your old Arbot. Nice.
Long time since I've been present for a live event.
Penix, pass over the middle, incomplete, and there is a flag.
Go Wolverines.
There is a flag this time. Trey McMillan was going to be the intended target there. And it goes incomplete. But there is a flag. PI on Michigan. It'll be a 1st and goal for the Huskies. Mr. Caw. Mr. Caw. Found your Harbaugh card, dude. That's sick. You got a Herbert Navy jersey on. Nice. Here comes 1st and goal for the Huskies. A big motion, a big audible on the right side. 1st and goal. Everyone's set. Here comes the run up the middle. And Johnson breaks the first tackle. Gets to the 5-yard line. Gains 4. 2nd and goal at the 5 coming up for Washington. Coming up for Washington. I know you've talked about Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers, but do you think he's actually going to the Chargers or going to the Raiders? Honestly, and somebody said it best here, I think the Raiders thing is leverage in order to get a better contract. And it could be, because honestly, you would put yourself in such a tough position going to the Raiders. I mean, I would have faith that he turns it around, which is really scary for Chargers fans, but he would have to do a lot more work to accomplish that. Here comes honestly looks like a nicely designed run and pitch to the right side, but the Wolverines read that perfectly and wallops Johnson at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal coming up. That was a nice play design, man. Good defense by the Wolverines, dude. Sounds good, Hugo. Appreciate you. Mr. Caw coming back with another $20. What's up, bro? He says, screw it. I won 2 fantasy leagues this year. Have another 20 as I wear my black Chargers hoodie. Hey, Mr. Caw. Thank you, dude. Congratulations on the championship there, man. Congratulations. Appreciate the love there, dude. This maybe was my worst fantasy year of all time. It actually probably was. I've won my home league 4 out of 12 years. 12-year league, 4-time champion. I won last season. Man, did I plummet this year. Oh, so rough. So rough. But I'm glad you guys had some luck out there, man. Won 2 fantasy leagues, as a matter of fact. Thank you so much, Mr. Caw. Mr. Caw. I don't know why Sean Connery comes to mind when I hear that name. Appreciate the love there, man. Give him some love in the chat, dude. Thank you for the $20 haul, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Here comes 3rd and goal. Big play for Penix, who's going to get ran up on and obliterated at the 2 or the 3-yard line. 4th and goal coming up for the Huskies, and you got to think they need to go for this, right? They are at the 1 minute, 10-second marker of the first half, and they are down multiple touchdowns. Do they take the 3 or go for it here? You have to imagine they're going for it, and yes, they are. Yes, they are. Morebo with the 5 says, Jay Harbaugh, Jim's son, should come with him. Michigan and generational Harbaughs. Dude, listen, the Harbaugh team would be fantastic. The Harbaugh family, one of the few that get along with the Spanoses, too. Spanos, sorry. I don't know where Spanos came from. Here comes Penix. He's going to fire over the middle of the field. Oh, touchdown Huskies. But there is a flag at the goal line. I think it's against Michigan too, dude. It was holding on the defense. And I think it was against Johnson. Touchdown Huskies on a 4th down try. Jalen McMillan, the receiver on that TD. And with 42 seconds left, the Huskies are able to make this a 1-score game yet again. Michigan's got to find some momentum in the second half, man. Who kicked off? Who was the first on offense? I'm pretty sure it was Michigan, right? I think Washington receives, right? I don't remember. Actually, I'll go back to the play-by-play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first drive was a Michigan touchdown behind Donovan Edwards, right? So I do think that Washington is going to receive in the second half. Huskies get the ball, yeah. Bosa or Mac? Right now, Mac. I want both. Is it too hard to ask? It's just not going to happen. I think one or the other is going to go. It would shock me if it's Bosa. Just the money, the years. And Mac has certainly helped his trade value, if that makes sense as well. And I got to tell you guys, for those of you, a lot of you guys that are out on Joey Bosa, I get it. I know. I understand why. But I honestly do think, did they just fair catch it at the 1? I think they're just going to kneel it. I honestly do think that Bosa in a new situation that's not Brandon Staley is going to bounce back. I feel very strongly that could be the case. All right. But who knows how long until retirement. I think he came out today on the post-season press conference and said that he doesn't plan to retire, but who knows? You're right. Who knows? I know Tara's not happy about that touchdown. Let's keep Bosa and trade Joey. Khalil Bosa trade Joey. You're confusing me, Dominic. Here comes... Oh, McCarthy's going to hit number 18. And that's a pretty big gain, but Michigan has no timeouts. Why is the clock stopped? Okay, they were getting set. 33 seconds, no timeouts. McCarthy to the sideline. Got to get out of bounds, bro. He got tackled in bounds after a throw to the sideline. That was the whole point of that play, dude. 20 seconds left. Wolverines at midfield. They're going to spike it. And you got 16 seconds and maybe 15 yards to get in field goal range. Make this a 2-score lead yet again. Y'all, no, number 6. You have got to get out of bounds. I don't understand why he stayed in. Oh my goodness. First down stops clock. That's right. 3rd and 3. Michigan. They need 3, but realistically need more. Sideline passes out of bounds for number 6. It'll be 12 seconds with a 4th and 3. Just punt it and get to the second quarter, man. The second half. Punt it. Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. We're not going for this, right? They gotta be playing, trying to get off sides or something, right? Like, they can take the penalty and still punt it. Yeah, they can take the penalty and still punt it. And it is going to be a delay of game. And Michigan will be punting it. With 12 seconds left in the first half. Almost had something there. I believe if Johnson goes out of bounds, stops the clock, gives you an additional, what would that be, like 10 seconds? Then that turns out a little bit different. Do I believe Harbaugh could go to the Raiders? I think it's possible, but I think it's much less likely than the Chargers. Much less likely. It could be used as leverage to get a better contract with Los Angeles, which, whatever, I'm about it. Just get him here. Just get him here no matter what. Here comes the punt by Michigan, and it'll take a nice Michigan bounce. Get down at the 1-yard line. You're going to see a kneel, and we're going into the tunnel. National championship with Michigan leading 17-10. Would have loved to see Michigan's defense stand up and not allow a touchdown under 1 minute left to go in the first half. But not a bad start if you're Michigan. You got to get momentum back on your side, though, man. You've got to get momentum back on your side. Such lethal running of the football in the first quarter. Got to find a way to get that back. First half had, 200 yards? Pair of touchdowns for Michigan on the ground. Got to find a way to get that back. Harbaugh's 4th down call was bad. It was bad. He's not invincible, but he's a hell of a head coach, one we'd be lucky to have in LA. Any free agents you would like the Chargers to target in the upcoming free agency? Anybody cheap. Anybody cheap makes sense. Fortunately for the Chargers, who have a big need at running back, that position is super cheap to get in free agency. I do believe we're going to go after maybe one running back in the draft, maybe, but this isn't my favorite draft class. And if we can just go out there and sign somebody for this season in free agency, buy ourselves time to get to the 2025 class of running backs, I think I'm about that. I know there's more guys besides Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is definitely my favorite. Let's see what the 2024 free agents look like. At the running back position. There's actually a nice pocket of names, too. I know it's not just Derrick Henry. Josh Jacobs would be solid. Saquon would be scary, but solid. Tony Pollard feels like something we would do. Gus Edwards is solid. Devin Singletary's solid. DeAndre Swift actually be pretty solid. Deontay Foreman would be a pretty cheap, nice option. If you're talking cheap, Deontay Foreman's definitely a good option right there. J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon could have a resurgence with the Chargers. Dearness Johnson could still be a thing. Antonio Gibson's not a bad option there, too. Zach Moss. Like these 1 year, 2 year guys. Not a bad free agency, if you ask me. Led by Derrick Henry, of course. But you can get somebody in the draft, too, if you feel that way about him. Yes, and if Coach Harbaugh comes to the Chargers, you have to assume that he's going to get Corum or Donovan over here as well. Donovan Edwards. Fabian with the 10. Bolt up director at work. Glad you're streaming today. Fabian, thank you. $10 holla. We out here, baby. We out here randomly with 600 people watching the Michigan and Washington championship. No, I mean, yes, some Chargers implications here, but still, that's the hype. That's the hype we're seeing behind Jim Harbaugh and that idea. Very cool, man. Very cool. Thank you for the $10 holla, dude. Good luck on your work day. Good luck to the Michigan Wolverines, and good luck to Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, everybody does like Corum. Corum could be, honestly, like, it's crazy to think that a lot of the stuff that we were doing with Eckler, we could kind of still do if we got Corum. And he'd be, what, like a fourth rounder, right? Maybe third? Be third round guy. You could do a lot worse. And honestly, that combo would be kind of nice because it still wouldn't be that expensive. Let's say you get Corum and Derrick Henry as your 1-2 punch. That's something we asked for like for years on the Chargers, to have that true power back to feature, and then you sprinkle in that receiving guy here and there. I mean, that would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, I mean, there's some options. There's some options. Zach Moss would make me nervous. Yeah, I mean, there's options everywhere. And the short answer is, unless you get really lucky or you really, really believe in some of these guys in the next draft with, Benson could be awesome. Who knows? Like, honestly, who knows? A lot of these, big running backs come out of the fourth round and later. Who knows? You could build somebody out of the draft. You could. But I think finding a running back in the future draft is maybe not a bad idea either. We just draft a coach. RPO, Michigan's playing as far. Yeah. Jim knows how to use that RPO to his advantage, man. They have been tearing up Washington in the first half in terms of running. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these stats while we're waiting. We're in halftime. All here in support of Jim Harbaugh. Let's see how it's kind of crazy how college ball differs here. We got Penix with 128 and a touchdown. McCarthy here with 81, 5 of 11. Not bad, could be better. It's the run game that's been shining for the Wolverines in the first half, man. This is absurd. 3 carries for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Donovan Edwards has been unbelievable. Blake Corum, 8 for 84. Long of 59, though. Okay, so let's not get too crazy and carried away here, but still a great couple of plays by both of these running backs, both of which should be eligible for the draft this season. Mullings gets 3 for 21. This name gets 2 for 15, and here we go. 209 yards in the first half. Absolutely insane. Both teams, in terms of receiving, yeah, Dunze looks okay so far. Had that pretty big drop that cost him, I would say, at least a touchdown in the first, or at least 3 points in the first half right there. McMillan with 28 and a touchdown. What's going on with Michigan, though? Roman Wilson, 1 for 37. Johnson, 3 for 25. Loveland, 1 for 19. I think, honestly, keep that run game going if you can. Open up opportunities through the air, but I think at this point, the biggest thing my eyes are seeing as a Chargers fan watching a Michigan game, you got to get that momentum back. You got to get that momentum back. Momentum is everything. And the Wolverines, who started off very, very hot, largely due to the run game, probably needs to try and establish that again in the second half. What do I think about Vrabel? I think he's an awesome coach, but I don't think he comes to the West Coast. I think if Vrabel goes anywhere, it's back to the Patriots. James coming in with the $5 Haws. It's 2 a.m. here in the UK. Lasted a half, but got to hit the hay. Hopefully we see good result in the stream in the morning. Much love, Bolt fam. Go blue. Thank you so much, James. Hey, James, set your alarm nice and early. Maybe not too early. I don't know. Friggin' Ian Rappaport likes to tweet at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning my time. So who knows? Just wake up, get excited. We may start hearing some news as early as tonight, but tomorrow should be very interesting and exciting. Thank you for the 5, man. Good night to you, and good luck. Here comes ML Bolt with the 5. His thoughts on Chargers head coach list so far. And does it worry you that we may not get Harbaugh? I think, honestly, yes. I'm not going to lie and tell you guys, like, nah, it would be okay, blah, 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 blah. Like, I would be worried if we don't get Harbaugh. My biggest worry is that he goes to a team that's going to be a pain in our butt, especially if it's the Raiders. That would be the worst case scenario, by far. But if he goes back to Michigan, whatever. It is whatever, right? Like, it is what it is. That's fine. But if he comes to the NFL and we don't get him, I would be very disappointed. Now, as for the head coach list so far, if we take a look at some of the candidates right now, what's this rumor right here? Chargers. Mutual interest in being the Raiders in Michigan. Yeah, we've heard that all morning today. That's been the story today, which is upsetting a lot of Chargers fans. You go take a look at my Twitter here real quick, because I got some names to share with you guys that have been interviewed so far. So the Raiders defensive coordinator we're interviewing, they're out of the postseason. We got Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, having been interviewed already, too. We need to count and see how many of these teams are not in the postseason. That would be beneficial. Cam Marino just posted. This is actually bringing in from Richie Farley, who tagged me in this. The tweet's coming in from Cam Marino, hearing that the LA Chargers are going to full court press for Jim Harbaugh after Monday night. Nothing is final right now, but things are headed in a positive direction for the Harbaugh Chargers crew. For real? Cam Marino is a big time too, man. USA Today NFL analysts. We got to retweet that right away. Hang on, guys. This is pretty big. All right, I'm going to show you guys this real quick. We'll get back to the super chats here in a second, but this is pretty significant. I was waiting. I was like, something big's going to happen today in terms of Harbaugh news, and I think this is one of them. You guys ready for this? I'll read it out again. I just read it, but we're going to read it out again. Did it not send on my side? I got to hit the send now thing. All right, here it is. Cam Marino, hearing that the LA Chargers are going to full court press for Jim Harbaugh after Monday night. I mean, you could start hearing some stuff tonight, but likely tomorrow. I'm going to be waking up bright and early, man. This is a big friggin' deal. Nothing is final right now, but things are headed in a positive direction for the Harbaugh Chargers crew. And yes, Cam Marino is a name that sure doesn't have a lot of followers here, but he is NFL analyst, USA Today guy. That's a pretty big one. That's a pretty dang big one, dudes. So nothing solidified, nothing in stone quite yet for all you pessimists out there. Yes, there's still a lot of anxiety leading up to that final signing on the ink on the dotted line. But that's also another really good sign, and it just follows the narrative that we're hearing over and over and over and over again, that Harbaugh and the Chargers are very closely linked and connected. A lot of talk's been going on in the background. A lot of talk. What exactly does full court press means? It means a for sure aggressive pursuit. Actually, I have no idea. Just like all out. Like you're just going in there, man. That's how I have to assume. Going all in, baby. And honestly, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Richie, thank you, man, for tagging me in that. I was just looking it up on my phone. I saw your name pop up. That's a pretty big deal right there. Explain full court press in basketball terms. Can you explain it in football terms for me? Is that it? Like, how do you go super aggressive in football without looking like an idiot? When can we see a mock draft director? Like 2 weeks, I think, when I'm going first. I don't want to look like an idiot in my first mock draft. I'm still kind of getting my mind wrapped around some second round guys. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge college ball dude. I'm kind of starting to evolve into that. I've always just been a Chargers guy since like 2005, 2006. Played a little high school football too. Kind of got me interested in the sport to begin with because both sides of my family do not watch football. Their sports are soccer on the Latin side and rugby on the Polynesian side. No football out here in my family. So I'm kind of the first to break into this mold. And I didn't even stumble upon the Chargers until the mid-2000s because of LaDainian Tomlinson. And I'll tell you what, dudes. Yeah, things got exciting out here pretty quick. Pretty dang quick. Blitzing every play. You guys are hilarious, man. I love you. This bewildered look of confusion and laughter. Are you happy that the draft is in 3 months? Yes. So like I was saying, yeah, we will be getting some mock drafts here pretty soon. My first video is called My Way Too Early Mock Draft. Not even way too early anymore. I think I should have done that back in December, November, but I just don't know the prospects as well as I did last year. All I know is that I've seen so far a lot more that I think are, in terms of quality and where they're being drafted, even the early first round guys, like already it's so much better of a quality of draft than I saw last season. Like a lot better, which is crazy. Last draft wasn't terrible, but this next upcoming draft, there's some dogs, dude. There's some blue chip players all around. Jesse Minter will be our defensive coordinator most likely. Actually, while we're waiting on halftime, guys, because there's some important stuff on here. Okay? Let's kind of give a little roundup for Chargers fans on what went down this morning. Not much because obviously Jim's getting ready for his national championship game. We don't want to distract him. This was pretty big that just dropped via Cam Marino. Chargers post-season interviews were held today as well. We heard from Keenan Allen saying that he's not going to get traded or he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere, which is very interesting. We have to wait and see how that unfolds. I really hope that's the case. It should be the case. Hopefully he just gets extended. We stretch that money out a little bit. Of course, this tweet saying, make sure you're wearing your best Navy jersey. New odds were released today. Check this out, man. Harbaugh at -200 is absolutely insane. Somebody knows something somewhere. Ben Johnson. Here's some of the early interviews that we're seeing so far. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn of the Lions. Of course, these teams in the postseason. We saw Corey Linsley in that presser saying that he's going to retire. That's going to gain $9 to $11.5 million in cap relief for the Chargers. This is the one I was trying to get to right here. Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale. You guys know who this is? Don Wink Martindale. This guy was actually kind of a head coach candidate for the last couple of seasons. He's been one hell of a defensive coordinator in his time. Most recently, obviously, with the New York Giants. I have to assume this isn't something that Brian Daboll wanted in terms of moves in his facility. I'm sure he relies a lot on Wink to get the defense out there and do their jobs. But one thing I'll say, and I'll actually just read my tweet out because it makes a lot of sense here. If Harbaugh joins the Chargers, I would keep an eye on Wink Martindale. He was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore at the same time Jesse Minter, his current defensive head coach, was in Michigan. Right? So you got these two guys that were coached at the same time in Baltimore, Wink and Jesse Minter. He hired Minter specifically to build a Baltimore-style defense. Wink is a highly respected name and could do the same if Harbaugh doesn't bring Minter directly. What I'm saying is I think Jim Harbaugh is still going to want to use that Baltimore-style defense wherever he goes in the NFL. And sure, he could bring Jesse Minter, which I'm sure that's something he wants to do. And Minter is an up-and-coming guy. I think it would be a good move for him, too. Especially since he's kind of made a resembling NFL defense in college ball work, which is pretty impressive. But Wink, he was the actual defensive coordinator at that time in Baltimore. And he's a very well-respected name. And he could be a guy that gets recruited with Jim Harbaugh to run that same system in Los Angeles, if that's the case. I don't know, man. Wink Martindale. That could end up being a big possibility for the Chargers. Maybe it's a stretch by me. I don't know. But you just kind of have to connect the lines right there. And lastly, one of the big things that I woke up to from Jordan Schultz, there is mutual interest between the Raiders and current head coach Jim Harbaugh, Michigan Wolverines. But I'm told Harbaugh wants to return to the NFL, has a lot of interest in the Chargers vacancy. There's a slew of internal support for Antonio Pierce, whom Davis really likes, but Harbaugh's at or near the top of the list. There's a lot of developments. And honestly, again, common sense would dictate that Harbaugh wants to come to the Chargers. He's got a quarterback. He knows the Spanos. He's got young talent all over the roster. He's got great draft position. Maybe needs to work on the money this season, but he's completely free the season after. Trust me, guys. One last thing, because a lot of people hold this against me. I shouldn't say against me, but against the Chargers. They kind of hold it over their head. Can I just say that this whole situation is maybe blown out of proportion a little bit? Yes, we're $34 million over the cap, right? Well, let's go ahead and actually pull out the calculator here real quick. Corey Linsley's going to retire. And it's likely going to go down like this. It would be like I think it's treated like a post-June 1st cut, right? So the Chargers would save automatically with that retirement $11.5 million. So all of a sudden, you're $20 million over the cap. Likely, we're going to cut Mike Williams. I don't know if it matters when we cut him. I think it's just got to happen. So we're just going to submit that. All of a sudden, the Chargers are only $3 million over the cap. And that's kind of two things we expect to happen at this point. At this point, you can extend Keenan Allen, get under the cap, still keep Khalil Mack another year, or you could extend both of them. Or if it's like what's being rumored, we could trade Khalil Mack for like a third rounder or something and go $20 million in cap space for Jim Harbaugh, whoever's coaching the Chargers, in 2024. Like, just a couple of moves and we're back in the green, right? And a couple of moves that are kind of already happening with Linsley and Williams. You got to think of us with these two moves, just $3 million over the cap. That's not too bad. But what gets my attention even more is this, 2025. Actually, I don't even have to click on it. Look at this, $126 million in 2025. We're fine. We're fine. And, of course, you're going to have to use that money because not a lot of players on the roster at that point. But your big boys are taken care of. Justin Herbert, Derwin James, Bosa, if he's still on the team. And this is the year, if you're going to cut Bosa, that's when you do it. You'd save $25 million instead of, what is it, like 15? Where's Bosa? He's right here. Yeah, $15 million. Go 22 more deep in dead cap. You do it in 25 if you're going to do it. Let's say they do it in 25, right? Holy crap, look at all that money. Holy crap, look at all that money. So I do think, in my perspective, the cap situation's being a little bit overblown. It's not like the Saints where it's going to be years and years and years of bad cap. It's one season, and it shouldn't be something that keeps Jim Harbaugh or any coach away from the Chargers. There's too much good on this team, and with the quarterback especially, to deter a future head coach because the money sucks for one season. And it doesn't even suck that bad, if I'm being honest. We've seen a lot worse. Bolt Beat just saw it too. Yeah, dude. That's gaining some traction, man. Oh. Yeah, that last tweet, dude, by Marino, that's pretty significant. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably, in terms of like reputable names, that's probably the one that kind of catches my attention the most right now. It really does. Oh. All right, let's read the chat here a little bit while we're waiting for halftime. Bosa would catch. Okay, so I'm actually going to go up here just a little bit first because this chat's not moving as crazy as normal. What's crazy is I've seen so many Raiders fans saying they want Pierce to stay and don't want Jim Harbaugh. I've seen the same thing. That whole organization is Looney Tunes on rerun, man. Why? It's fine. Pierce is doing a great job. I'm not trying to knock on Pierce, dude. He's doing great. And honestly, it's a great story, and it's something that they should probably do. But over Harbaugh is just pure insanity. It is. But it's a good narrative for us. I'll tell you that. Good narrative for us. Martindale, yeah. I would like the legacy of Harbaugh and Son. That would be crazy. Rumors that are flying that Staley will join the Raiders staff as the defensive coordinator. Bro, honestly, yeah, they would probably get better, maybe. I don't know. If he's just a DC again, I think that's where he kind of lives, right? He should live in just that DC role. So they could get better. But if we get a guy like Jim and we're facing Staley twice a year, I'm sorry, I'm not a petty person, but that would be kind of funny. I would be very excited. That'd be some premium quality television twice a season for the Chargers. Hope we get to see the Chargers play physical football next season. I agree. If the Raiders were to somehow get Harbaugh, I'd be sick to my stomach. Me too. VV. Me too. Barbecue Crew says that I think the Raiders are faking to get Jim to make it more expensive for us, which is a good thing. So he knows he's getting his money. Yeah, I honestly, it does feel like a move, right? Just a strategy to kind of help leverage himself a little bit. Do not cut Mike Williams, cut Bosa. It's tough. The money makes way more sense for Mike Williams. Williams also has a torn ACL. He said this morning that he's ahead of schedule in terms of the recovery, but we just don't know. He's 30 years old. Monster contract. You could talk about extending him. Let's see, 2024. But it's $32 million. It's just so much. And unfortunately, I think just the injury really makes it difficult to want to extend him after that point. Trade Bosa. Yeah, the money would be difficult with Bosa. He's entering his 9th season, has been injured for most of that. Yeah, Bosa. Oh, you're saying in terms of moving on from Bosa? Yeah, I do think it is still a possibility. It's still a possibility. Again, the money makes more sense in 25 if you're going to do it. The only scenario in which I think Bosa makes sense to move on from, like right now, is if we get a good trade offer, and edge rusher carries a lot of value. It really does. That position, very expensive. A lot of teams would pay up just for the name Bosa on their roster. And if we're talking first round even, like that's realistically like what you could get out of a Bosa, then yeah, I guess it's worth the dead cap at that point. But you're more than likely going to get that value in terms of draft pick after this season's draft. Does that make sense? I don't know if many teams would pull the trigger on a first or second round pick for Bosa before the draft takes place than you would see afterwards. Because after the draft and after free agency, the pickings are slim. You're going to have to go after someone via trade. Now, sure, we've seen that happen before. The Chargers did it with Khalil Mack, and it could happen again. But you'll probably get more value if you wait until after the draft. Maybe even after June 1st, because what does a trade for Bosa look like after June 1st? What does the money look like? I think that actually makes more sense, too. Trade post 6-1. Yeah, that's the 22 right there. Save 22, eat 14. So if you're moving on from Bosa, it makes more sense to do it after June 1st. But if you want to do it beforehand, I could see a team moving on him and the Chargers getting a second, maybe third round pick. I think it would be a second at that point for Bosa before the draft that we could use this year. But there you go. Here we go, baby. Third quarter is underway. Michigan's going to kick it away to Washington. We're going to start at the 25-yard line. Penix and the Huskies at the 25. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Here comes Penix. He's going to pump fake. Goes to the outside. Is it intercepted? Is it intercepted? Did he bring that in? I think he did. Interception, Wolverines. Very first play of the second half. And the Wolverines take it back, baby. Is the momentum back as well? I don't know. We got to take a look at this replay, too. He tipped it into his own hands. We got to see if he was able to keep it off the ground. Penix goes to the sideline. Number 2 almost doesn't come down with it. Does he stay in bounds? Does he have possession? Oh my God, he does. What a pick, dude! Yo! That is a highlight reel interception, man. Does he stay in bounds? He does. Incredible interception. First play of the second half for Penix turns into a disaster and an automatic. Is this close to a red zone opportunity for the Michigan Wolverines? Are you kidding me? Wow. Let's go. Jim Harbaugh told his players it's halftime. Let's go win this thing. Let's go win this thing. Oh, good town. That's cold. Here comes the first run by Corum. It'll be about 2 yards. And the Wolverines now at the 30-yard line. Obvious field goal range. Can go up 2 possessions now just like that. At very worst. Now Penix. They're taking a look at that replay. Ooh, Penix took a cleat to the ankle. Hopefully he's okay by his own offensive lineman. That looks painful. Hopefully he's okay. But that ball was also tipped. Just a worst case scenario for Penix on that play. Here comes a big play up the middle. Corum with a cut makes the first man miss, and it's 15 yards for Corum. First down, Wolverines. Nice play. And a first down, red zone opportunity all of a sudden for the Wolverines. 1st and 10 around, the 20-yard line. Boom, let's go. Penix is on the sideline taking a look at that ankle. Hopefully he's okay. 1st and 10. Single back for the Wolverines before a flag is thrown. Wow. Corum, future Charger. I ain't mad at it. Was that a false start by everybody? Is that what they're saying? Yeah, that Corum cut, dude. That one cut that he's got in his back pocket, that's nasty. That dude changes direction so quick. He's so good at picking those angles too, dude. He's a quick little bugger. Does remind a lot of people of Eckler, which is another connection right there. Here comes another run up the middle. I do see Corum as a better runner too. Similar runner, but better. Up the middle. The report at Harbaugh to the Chargers got me extremely hopeful. Yeah, me too, Pedro. Honestly, I got to keep Twitter on the side right here, guys. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm distracted, like we're on a first date and I can't put my phone down. You want to know what's more important than our conversation in this moment in time? Sorry, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers could be huge. Harbaugh to the Chargers could be huge. Kind of just keeping an eye on all that. Dude, Benjamin Albright just followed, not that up, but he followed up another thing. Bronco Country needs to pray Harbaugh doesn't end up with the Chargers. And then Benjamin Albright, he's also a big name. He doesn't have a check mark, but he has 181,000. Yeah, I was like, I know this guy's pretty big. Unfortunately for Denver, I think it's likely. Harbaugh is likely to be the Chargers' next head coach unless they flub it. Let's not flub it. Yeah, I like that word. Let's not flub that, okay? Let's please not the Charger hire. This needs to be the turning of the page for the Chargers' future in the good. Here comes 2nd and 18. Wow. It's batted down. 3rd and 18 coming up. Y'all be good just to get a couple yards on the ground, kick that field goal. That drive turned into a disaster after the penalty. Wow, great swat there by the defensive lineman. He's able to bat that thing down. That was Letula Lanoa. He was able to bat that thing down. It is a 3rd and 18 all of a sudden for the Michigan Wolverines. To him the next 30 minutes. Here comes McCarthy under a lot of pressure. Gets the ball away. I don't know if I like the call there to pass it. He gets it to Loveland. It's like a 3-4 yard gain. Still going to be like 3rd and 15. You're still in field goal range, though. I probably would have set up the field goal up the middle. Just a simple run up the middle. Set up the field goal. Take the 3. Go up by 2 possessions. Call it a day. But in the end, we're probably going to see the same result on 4th and 15. Corum is a hybrid between Eckler and Kelly. I actually don't hate that. I heard the comparisons between him and Kelly before, and I was like, yeah, I kind of see that as a runner. He does look like Eckler as a receiver. Yeah. You guys are slowly but surely pushing me in that direction. I've kind of, yes, wanted, Corum beforehand too, but like, I'm also looking for that lead guy, like that RB1. And I think if you grab Corum and a guy in free agency, like a big boy, a big back, and give me that combination, I think I feel okay. Hell, dude, if the Chargers can pull it off, what if we do get Corum and Donovan Edwards? I don't think I would hate that. That's not a bad 1-2 punch. You probably would have to go find like another 3rd or 4th round pick to make that happen. But that kind of fits what I want. I'd be cool with that. What did you miss? Well, right now we are in commercial break. Michigan did take the 3. They're up 2 possessions. We're at the top of the 3rd quarter still. A lot of football left to play. The flub is a Chargers word. Let's not be the flubbers. The Los Angeles flubbers. More news on Harbaugh. Yes, Jake. So Marino, a NFL analyst / USA Today guy, I think, came out and said that the Chargers are ready to pounce right after this game. They said tomorrow, but it could be now. They have packages ready. It's going to move fast. It sounds like it's going to move fast. They don't want anybody else to have a chance to pounce on Harbaugh. It's a big, that was a big one, actually. In terms of news, that was a pretty big one. Again, Cam Marino. Actually, I got it on this screen. What am I doing? Cam Marino. All the way back up here. Chargers are going full court press, for whatever that term is worth, for Jim Harbaugh after Monday night. Hard court press seems like such an obscure thing to say that I'm sure it was quoted by one of the Spanoses. Nothing is final now, but the things are headed in a positive direction for Harbaugh and the Chargers crew. That's big. Pretty big. Pretty damn big, dude. Go Wolverines! Oh, that'd be so sick, dude. Yeah, combination, yeah. Yeah. I'm all about that, dude. Derrick Henry and Blake Corum, or CJ Corum, I'd be so down for that, dude. I would be so down for that. Please and thank you. Please and friggin' thank you, man. I would be so friggin' down for that, man. Henry and Corum would be nice. Yeah, that would be a very nice 1-2 punch. And maybe it helps Corum get up to speed in the NFL a little bit. Let Derrick Henry kind of take the lump of the carries for a while, and then you can draft a really nice complementary running back. Because most teams kind of have that nowadays. The bell cow doesn't exist as often anymore. It's usually a 1-2 punch. And I think the Chargers would be wise to do that. I honestly do. I want that dog. I really do. But I don't know if we're going to get him this season. Corum could turn into that, but I still think we should get him some help. And I think, again, free agency, running backs aren't that expensive. They're really not. Derrick Henry, if he is a little more expensive, whatever. Go get a different guy. Maybe Josh Jacobs isn't as expensive. Maybe who are some of these other free agents that we were looking at? Just a big bruiser kind of guy. Like, maybe they're not as expensive at running back. Who are some of the bigger guys? Like Gus Edwards, I'd be happy with. Pollard, Jacobs, Zeke did just fine as a backup. Deontay Foreman would be a nice cheap option. Like, there's options out there to throw in combination. You know, who knows? Corum to the Chargers, though. If we do get Jim, it's probably a pretty good chance that could happen. Karen! Hey, Director, I haven't been online much lately, but glad to see you watching Michigan game. Hope you had a great Christmas, New Year's. See you in the offseason. Karen! Karen, I hope we're all muttering the name Jim Harbaugh in the next couple of days as the new Chargers head coach. What a season that would create. What hype that would create. Oh, my God. Karen, thank you. $25 holla. Just drops in casually, and not even a Chargers game. Shares the love. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that. Here comes 1st and 10. For the Huskies, they'll pick up 5. It'll be a 2nd and long. Thank you so much there, Karen. Give her some love in the chat. Had the opportunity to run into her when I went to the Bears game. Certainly a lot of fun. Give me one of my favorite T-shirts. You know what, Karen? Guess what? Since that meeting,
I haven't
down
been
30
online
pounds.
much lately, but glad to see you watching the Michigan game. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's. See you in
Thank
the
you
off
so
season.
much, Karen. Down 30 pounds since then, and slowly but surely we're gonna look better in that shirt every single week. Thank you so much, Karen. Next play went for a first down. Who was that? It was Rome with a catch and run first down play right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Juan says, tagged you on a post. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Chase just gifted a membership. Just here to like the video. Hey! Thank you so much, Chase. First and 10. Penix. He's going to set up the screen. Oh, nice execution. Holy crap. Big tackles broken by number 83. And it's going to be a 15-yard gain and a flag. I don't know what for. Look, they're pointing at Michigan right now. I don't know what happened. I didn't quite see what happened there at the end. Maybe a little extra contact at the end there. Who's number 18 of the Huskies? That's a nice play. That's a nice play. Just hear like this. Thank you, Chase. Unnecessary roughness on defense. And that's going to help out the Huskies. I think they're now in Michigan territory. Thanks again so much, Karen. Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. And we're hyping up the offseason, baby. It's going to be a magical season. If Jim really does come to the Chargers, this is going to be a huge season. Just huge offseason. You guys are not going to get me to shut up this offseason. I want to have so many videos, it's going to be unfair. We'll take a look at Juan's tweet here in just a second. First and 10 for the Huskies. They're at the 34-yard line. Penix. Ball batted down. Ooh, it looked like the perspective looked like it was headed for a DB. Nice play by 78. Batting that ball down. It'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up. See what we got going on here on Twitter. There's Juan. Oh, yeah, I saw this from Jordan Schultz this morning. Oh, wait, is this a new one? Oh, hang on. Here comes a carry by Rodgers, and it's going to go for maybe 2-3 yards. It'll be 3rd and long coming up. Hang on. Chargers commanders have submitted requests to interview Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn for their vacant head coaching positions. This is from Jordan Schultz. I thought this was from earlier today. It was. 3 requests for Quinn. Also have 1 from the Panthers. Okay. So we're continuing the tour of coaching interviews. Doing due diligence. I don't know if I would love the Dan Quinn hire. I would maybe come around to it, but it's not my favorite right now. I'll say that. Here comes 3rd and 8. Penix passes over the middle. That's going nowhere. 4th? What's that going to be? Like 4th and 5? Where are they at right now? The 35-yard line-ish? They would be... I mean, if you're Washington, you take the 3, right? You have to take the 3. You go for this, you're crazy. Yeah, they got to go out there and take their 3. Looks like they are. 4th and 4. Here comes the field goal unit for Washington. Trying to make this a 1-score lead for Michigan yet again. Still like 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, man. We got a lot of football left to play. Now, Michigan fans in the chat, know it all fans. I love you in the chat. Here's the kick up and good for Washington. That'll close the gap 13-20. You guys more knowledgeable than me. I think I read in my preparation with Jim Harbaugh that this is Michigan's first national championship appearance. Is that correct? If that's the case, man, there's going to be some friggin' celebration going on if they somehow pull this off, dude. That'd be huge. This game beats last year's national championship game. 2 days of live streaming, man. My back is saying, hey, man. We good? All Bolts fans are Michigan fans right now. Yeah, I tweeted that out earlier too, man. I says, if you're a Chargers fan watching this game, make sure to dust off your favorite navy blue jersey in support of Harbaugh and the Wolverines. I think these jerseys look really fire in terms of like a throw to the Wolverines, but the old navies look pretty nice too. We'll take what we can get. Since like 97. Okay, maybe that is what I read. Since 97. So it has been a hot minute. A hot minute since they've been a national championship. 84 was supposed to be the national championship against and BYU and lost. Okay. So yeah, man, big deal. Big deal for Michigan and their fans. We're pulling for you. Sonny Mitchell from Texas. Is that the super fast kid on the Longhorns? Is that the kid that's going to run a sub 4.4? I'll go look him up real quick. Again, I'm still brushing off, man. I really am. He's a late rounder, right? Let's see where they have him. Frank Gore Jr. Is that real? Am I dude, is that real? Are we looking at like a 6th round pick Frank Gore Jr. that could be brought into the NFL the same year as Jim Harbaugh? Is he good? He's graded out pretty good. No way. I think I knew that, right? Anyway, yes, I did. I do think I know who you're talking about. I think I saw some highlights of him on TikTok. That's crazy. Because yeah, if you guys remember his time in San Francisco, him and Frank Gore, man, those two are made to play football together, dude. Frank Gore had an insane boost to his career when Jim Harbaugh took over the team. And my God, I mean, Gore was already really good, but he just exploded after Harbaugh took over. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Baby Gore. Chargers requested an interview for the OC from the Ravens. I did see that, yeah. So I don't know where that puts us. I think that puts us close to like 10 interview requests so far. Who knows how many we'll have done in the next couple of days. But you got to assume some of these, if not all of these, are kind of due diligence / we got to interview as many as possible so that we can get Jim Harbaugh a contract as soon as possible too. Yes, I've heard of Antonio Gates Jr., freshman at Michigan State, wide receiver. We'll have to see how he pans out in the next couple of years. LT was built for Marty Ball, and Marty built hell of an O-line. Yeah, that is a big deal too. It really is. Bruised Frog, I get you, man. I get you. Interview 1, then hire Harbaugh. They have to interview like 5, I think, first. Here comes a nice carry by Donovan Edwards. He'll pick up 4 or so. Nice physical running, though. Again, Donovan Edwards is like a 4th rounder. I haven't given him much time, but I like the way he runs, man. I actually do. In terms of like what you look for in the NFL, he's pretty big too, like 6'1", 220 something. Like he's not a bad option. I don't know. Then again, the Chargers, I think if they're going with the Michigan back, it should be Corum. And they should just pair him up with whoever else they can find in terms of 1-2 punch. I thought you only needed to interview 2. I thought it was 5, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I remember looking this up last time, being equally as confused. Here comes Edwards again, this time up the middle. He's going to get met after a pickup of about 2 or 3. And we're looking at a 3rd and short now. Michigan at their own 35-yard line-ish, 32. They got to get this first down, man. Momentum is king. We got to get that back. They got to get that back. Michael was sold a bill that wasn't advertised properly. He was looking for Wolverine claws and didn't get them. Rip off. Here comes another run. This time it's Corum and the Huskies, man. They rallied. Another tackle behind the line, and we're looking at a 4th down. Michigan. They're going to have to punt. Again, opening the door for Washington to come score with a 1-possession difference right now. Sonny Mitchell is a hybrid between Keenan and LaDainian. Really? I'll have to continue to take a look at some of these guys. I'll keep that name. When you guys start pushing names in front of me, I kind of like, I'm going through names and it like sticks out to me. I'm like, hey, I think that's the guy that Nancy was looking at. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely will. Look it up. Well, I don't see us bringing that 2006 team again. Or being that 2006 team again. I feel like we could be the 2008 team, if not better, under Jim Harbaugh. Honestly, that's a good thing. I think that's a really, really good comparison. Because 2006, like, that's, some would say, untouchable in terms of, like, a magical season for the Chargers, right? However, I don't know. It just, my perspective, maybe as a fan, and this is why I try and keep my perspective this way on this channel, because I am a fan, and I think a lot of us want to hope and dream in a similar way, right? And the way I see it, and the reason I made this this graphic over here, which I'll go pull up one more time, that throughout history, the Chargers have added some pretty significant names that left a pretty significant footprint in our history as an organization. And I think if you're to pick out a couple of the really big ones, Corey Allen Fouts is really huge. Marty and Rivers / Breeze is really huge. The next one, honestly, could be Jim and Herbert. That could be massive. And in terms of potential, in my time as a fan, I don't know if I've seen it. And that's really exciting to think about. I think Jim, in terms of turning around this team as quick as possible, we may be in for one hell of a ride, man. We're going to get whiplash from how good this team turns overnight if Jim pans out the way we hope. Really and truly. Some of the biggest moments in Chargers history are very similar to what we're living right now. We'll have to see if we're on the right side of history this year. We'll have to see if we're on the right side of history this year. We're in commercial break waiting for the Huskies to get back out on offense, by the way. Put a Chargers hat on at the press conference. Yeah. So I'm getting buddies with the guys at Bleacher Report. If you guys didn't know, this season, them and I got talking. Now I have a little show on the Chargers section of the app. And so you'll see me there, maybe in the offseason too. We've been talking a little bit about stuff like that too. So maybe in the offseason, you guys have an opportunity to see me. But hopefully one day, I hope I get the Jordan Schultz treatment where they're like, hey, director, I got a scoop. We're going to break it on your channel. That's what I'm hoping, like, that relationship turns into at some point. That we get some legitimate contacts, some legitimate sources to help the content in terms of quality, right? It's 99% speculation, which is so fun. I would even say educated guessing, because I think at that point we gather enough information where it's just not a Hail Mary in terms of opinion. But it would be really nice to get some sources. Maybe one day. That's one of the biggest reasons. Like, I was obviously it's Bleacher Report. Like, I'm gonna do it, but like one of the biggest reasons I was like, yeah, we got to do this, man. Imagine one day we get that Jordan Schultz treatment. We get some sources. That'd be sick. Here comes 1st and 10. Penix hits his man underneath, who's going to pick up 5-6 yards. It'll be a first, or should I say a second and medium coming up. It says, Director, you always say you're live in Bleacher Report, but I can never find it. Is it on YouTube or Twitter? So the same day, I'll usually take the stream and post it on YouTube. But you should be, if you go to Bleacher Report and just like follow the Chargers, it should give you a notification that I'm live. And if not, you should be able to like scroll the Charger section. You'll find one of the streams by me. You should be able to click on my username and follow. But for the most part, it's just one of those things where you'll see me on the app in the Charger section when things get going. Here comes a screen for number 2 of the Huskies. Nice catch and run. And first down, I'm going to say that's 15 yards there for Penix. A nice play for the Huskies. There's a mobile app for Bleacher Report. Yeah, it's a little easier to navigate on a phone. I'll say that. I'm not quite sure how it works. I think it works similarly on a computer, but I know it's a lot easier to find on a phone. Who do you think the Chargers will use at running back next season? Somebody new. Honestly, we only have Isaiah Spiller right now. I have to assume we're about to go out there and get a new weapon for this team at running back. We need to. Here comes the screen setup. And it is incomplete. Beautifully read by the Wolverines. That's blown up. 5.5 left in the third. And we're looking at a 2nd and 10. Huskies at the Washington 42. On their own 42. It's annoying that I have to keep signing in every time. Does it make you? I don't think to watch it you have to be signed in. But if you want to comment, yeah, you have to. I like to relive the 2006 years again. Me too, Jake. I wasn't as big of a football fan back then, but I sure as hell knew who LaDainian Tomlinson was, and I was still kind of picking my team. Here comes a deep shot by Penix. It's going to be incomplete. Double coverage by Michigan. I would say I was a Chargers fan back then, but I was still kind of getting into the sport. That makes sense. At least in a viewership level. We were playing it a little bit, but... How old am I? Early 30s. I shouldn't even say. I'm 31. Not as old, not as experienced, and long in the tooth. But definitely at this point, we're getting close to most of my life being a Chargers fan, which is pretty cool. Here comes 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. 31, crowd stand up! Yo. 3rd and 15 after a penalty on the Huskies. And we need to see the Wolverines defense get off the field here. Herbert would benefit from RPOs, play action, pass with Jim. Oh, dude. Everything Harbaugh embodies as a coach and his philosophies offensively, you insert Herbert, and it just dials everything to 11. Like, it's already really good with McCarthy and some of these other players, but you add Herbert to that equation, boom, explosion of potential. Deep ball to the sideline on the right side, trying to get Rome open, and it's going to be incomplete after a nice defended, I'll say, shove to the sideline from Johnson. And we're looking at a 4th and 15 for the Huskies at their own 37-yard line after that penalty. They're going to have to go out there and punt it. Been diehard since the 80s. Nice. 4th and 15. Here comes the punt. Takes a nice Husky bounce. And it's going to be dead inside the 10. Ugh, that was a good punt. That was a good bounce, I should say. Very good bounce. How are we feeling about Spiller? Maybe signing a free agent or drafting a running back? I think both is going to happen. If I'm guessing, if I'm spitball guessing, I think the Chargers draft a guy. Could be Blake Corum. Could be a couple of different guys. I know a lot of Chargers fans want Corum. Donovan Edwards would be really nice, too. There's a lot of names. But they're all, like, later round names. There's no second, even maybe 3rd round. Maybe there's a 3rd round running back. Where's Jonathan Brooks being taken? Maybe a 3rd round guy there. Blake could be a 3rd round guy. Trey Benson's probably a 3rd, 4th, fringe 4th round guy. I think we get somebody, especially with the Michigan running backs both. I think, have they declared? I'm sure they're both going to be in the draft this year. I think if we have Harbaugh, we get at least one of them, and then maybe we go out in free agency and get another guy. And I would hope that if it's Corum, I hope it's a thumper. Hope it's a thumper. EA College Football 25 announcement coming hopefully today. That'd be sick. I'd be cool getting into that. It's just tough for me in EA lately, man. Some of my favorite games of all time have been EA. Obviously, I've been a Madden kid for a long time. This channel kind of started as a Madden channel, as a matter of fact. And then I switched to the Chargers. And then, like, Star Wars games are some of my favorite. Battlefront was one of my favorite for a long time. The Jedi Knight games are some of my favorite. That's Respawn, right? And then Apex Legends is, like, my current favorite game, like, for 3 or 4 years straight now. Like, I love these games. But, oh, my God. is that one greedy corporation. I can't believe just how much money you have to spend to keep up with some of those games, right? I try to like stay away from Madden Ultimate Team sometimes in terms of spending because it can be a whole. I know there was a year where I was like, I maybe spent $1,000 on that game without even thinking about it. Don't do that. That's not a wise investment, especially since there's a new one that comes out every year, right? I think at that point I realized I had a problem and I kind of stepped back a little bit. Now I play super casually, like super casually. And that's kind of one of the big reasons why I wanted to step away from Madden to begin with, because it was becoming too predatory in terms of the spending. And now I can see the same thing happening to Apex and everywhere. Everywhere is just so much money. I'm a little hesitant to get into like an NCAA game by EA. But who knows? Maybe that's just gaming nowadays. I'll play the finals. That's been fun. You guys put me on that. I hate you a little bit because I've been playing it a little bit more than Apex lately. And Apex is like, that's my dude. I got so many hours on Apex. I love that game. But the finals, cannot deny that is a fun experience. Daniel Rubio with the $5 holla. Turning 24 on the 10th. Need that Harbaugh to the Chargers news. How crazy would that be, man? Been a long-time fan waiting for the Chargers, or the Director Chargers collab. No, you can't. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much, dude. Happy birthday almost. Here comes 1st and 10. Corum's going to get the carry, and he's going to get blown up right away. It's going to be 2nd and long from inside the 10. That's going to be tough to get out of right there, man. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate the love there, dude. Thank you. And maybe one day we'll have a Chargers collab. We'll see. We'll see. I would love to work with them at some point. I also really enjoy my independence, though. It's been fun. We'll see. One day. I can almost guarantee one day we're at least going to collab or something, right? It'll be good. Here comes 2nd and 10. Another run up the middle, and this time it's going to go for maybe 2 yards. 3rd and long coming up. Have to wonder why we're not setting up a screen or something right now if you're Michigan. Why are we doing what we're doing? I'll be 40 playing GTA 6 next year. No shame, Hugo. We've all waited long enough. Everybody, when GTA 5 came out, was like friggin' 12 years old. It's a long time. It's been a long time, dude. I think all of us are going to be very excited to play that game, no matter how old you are. Please be old enough, though, to the rest of my audience. Here comes J.J. McCarthy. Pressure. McCarthy's going to take off. He's got some space. McCarthy's still up at the 30-yard line. Down after a big first down. Huge run by the quarterback. Yo! Wow, dude. 9's in the chat for McCarthy, man. He reeled that thing and took off, and now we got a drive by Michigan. They got some space to work now. 30-yard line. Here comes 1st and 10. Here's a carry. No, it's going to be a design quarterback run, and McCarthy's going to take it to the sideline after a 12-yard gain. 1st down at the 40. Ooh. Thank you, Director and Honorary USC Trojan. Fight on! Bro, it's it. I, funny enough, almost went to USC. I didn't have enough money aside for the housing, which is a big bummer. When are you going to hit up Merriman for an interview? He said he'd like to. Yeah, okay, so I'm putting that in my back pocket a little bit. I don't know, like Sean Merriman, one of my favorite Chargers of all time. Me and him got talking on Instagram a little bit. It was weird, dude. Here comes a run by the Wolverines. Edwards gonna pick up about 5 yards. I was like, is this real life? Like freaking Sean Merriman, dude. This is awesome. So yeah, you guys can expect something with Merriman at some point in the offseason. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do something. I'll make it happen. It's kind of a dream come true that he even knows who I am. That's crazy. Who are you rooting for? We are rooting for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh in particular. Here comes 2nd and 7. There's a pitch to the outside. Was it caught? You shouldn't have caught that, dude. Maybe you should. I don't know. I got blown up on 2nd and 7. It's going to be 3rd down. I don't know if that counts for how much it counts in terms of negative yards. It was a big play. Lights out, baby. Make a high video of that interview. You know it. You see my holler about Jim Harbaugh? My phone died. Yeah, I did. I remember. I still have it up on the screen, but I did talk about it. Pretty sick, dude. 3rd and 10. Thank you for the 2 again there, dude. 3rd and 10. Can JJ do it again? It's a setup screen. Oh, we might have a block on the outside. He went outside. Probably should have cut in. It'll be a 4th and medium at midfield for the Wolverines. No man's land. What are we going to do, Jim? What are we going to do? I miss the Chargers powder yellow shirts from the 80s. I think that's kind of the style that Karen got me my Victory Monday shirt on. It was pretty sick. Pretty sick. What will our cap space and dead money be with these moves? Hang on. Here comes the punt by Michigan. It'll be, ooh. Nice backspin. Downed at the 10 or 11-yard line. Here come the Wolverines defense again. Oh, y'all had a drive, man. It's too bad that one fizzled out. See the picture of Jim in a Chargers jersey? Made to be a Charger? Yeah, he played for the Bolts. He was kind of like, I don't know, the Ryan Fitzmagic of that time, a little bit. Like, he played everywhere, but he did spend a lot of time with the Chargers because he coached for the for San Diego. And they had a really strong, even to that day, like, they had a really strong relationship coming in and out, using the facilities, et cetera, et cetera. Back when he was coaching in San Diego as well. Yellow DJ jersey. I feel that, dude. That's why I was worried about my white jersey. Here comes a high pass by Penix, and it's going to be too high. 2nd and 10. 35 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We still got a football game here, man. Michigan's got to be careful. Got to be careful. About to answer back. Oh, thank you. Trade Bosa or Mac. Cut Mike Williams, Lindsley. Kendricks could be cut too, yeah. Extend Keenan, that could happen. Mac restructure could happen. James Jr. already cut. JC already cut JC and Spatchos today. So you're saying restructure James and Mac? Yes, that would work. That would work. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but that would work. If you trade, honestly, if Lindsley retires and you cut Mike Williams, you're already like almost there. You'd only have like $3 million left over the cap. All those other moves, you'd have like 30, 40 million to work with, which, yeah, could happen. But we might not need to do that because the Chargers have a lot of money in 2025 and going forward. But yeah, that's definitely something that would work. We're at the end of the 3rd quarter, by the way. Michigan still leads, but we have a whole quarter left of football left to play, and it's been a back-and-forth game on defense for the last quarter and a half. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Mike Dub says he wants to come back. I read that somewhere today. Yeah, they had their postseason interviews today. And yes, he does want to come back. Ian said the same thing. I think Khalil said the same. No, he said he's not going to retire. Trust me, if there was a way that the Chargers could bring back Mike Williams, I think I would be about it. But it's just there's too many flags at this point. He's owed like $30+ million. There's the ACL. He's going to be 30. It would be very tough. There's so much money on his name, too. It would be very tough to keep Mike Williams. It really would be. And the Chargers with Quentin Johnston just drafted. Sure, he's not been great, but maybe a new coach would help that out. Likely drafting another weapon, whether it be a tight end or receiver. Like, you would have another weapon competing with Mike Williams. It's hard to imagine that. It's hard to imagine that. This draft, I love the wide receivers this draft are insane. And at pick number 5, if we go receiver, we're getting a good one, like a really good one. We're getting a really, really good one. If we don't get one of the top 2 receivers and we get the tight end, we're getting a really good one. Like, if we get any weapon for Justin Herbert in the top 5 picks, it will be exceptional. It will be like, could be a top 3-4 player at the position in the next couple of years good. This year's draft loaded with running backs. Late round running backs, yes. Late round running backs. Wide receivers are everywhere. And I've seen a lot of good corners this year too. So, I mean, this is a good year to have good field position, good draft position, and draft stock. Like, if the Chargers were going to do this any year, it's kind of lucky that we did it this year, because this year's draft's actually pretty nice. Harbaugh head coach, Bieniemy at OC, Ron Rivera at defensive coordinator. All have former Chargers ties. That would be kind of crazy, like getting the band back together. Harbaugh played with the Chargers. Bieniemy played on the Chargers Super Bowl roster. Rivera played, like, that's crazy. Rivera at DC, that would be kind of nuts. You would likely, if Harbaugh ends up coming to the Chargers, you would likely find a DC that has something to do with the Baltimore Ravens system. Because he went out of his way to build that system in Michigan, even though it's not an easy thing to do in college ball. They did it. So he could bring Jesse Minter over from Michigan pretty easily if he wanted to. But there's also guys, probably the best guy you could ask to implement a Baltimore-style defense, he's available right now. And Wink Martindale, dude, like, he's out there for some reason. Like, nobody, why? Why did they do that? Why ever get rid of a defensive coordinator that good? You know, maybe he's got somebody in his ear saying, "Hey, man, if you leave the Giants, there's a chance that you go to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh and do your thing over there." I don't know. It's maybe wishful thinking. Who knows? But it's insane to think about. Are you fine with Joe? I am fine with Joe Alt. That kind of protection for Justin Herbert is very exciting to think about. But at 5, I want that generation skill position guy. At 5, I really, really need to see that. Here comes Washington with their first play. It's going to be Johnson with a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and medium coming up. Of the fact that you've been playing the finals. That's your guys' fault, dude. Ultimately, it was my brother's fault, too. He texted me. He was like, "Hey, let's do it. Let's try the finals." I was like, fine. So I downloaded it on my phone or whatever. Just shot it to my Xbox. And the first game I played, I was like, yeah, this is pretty sick. This is pretty fun. It's chaos. It's fun. It reminds me of, like, Halo back in the day. It's a good time. 2nd and 7. Rex Ryan would be fun, too. Or I should say 2nd and 7. Huskies. At the 26-yard line. Penix. Oh, a lot of pressure in his face. He's going to get it off, though, underneath. It's going to be McMillan who picks up 2 or 3 yards, nicely defended by Johnson, and it's going to be a 3rd and 4. That would be really nice if Michigan get off the field right away. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Maybe we can help guys like DJ get back to form. Yes. 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 I firmly believe that the Staley effect had a negative effect on our players' talent. That includes DJ. That includes Bosa. Maybe even some of the linebackers. Maybe even ASJ. Because you look back at Gus Bradley's system, those guys are really exploding there. And then all of a sudden, the regression just hit hard. I don't know. Here comes an underneath throw. Oh! Dropped by number 8 of Washington. It's a 4th and 4. He had it. The running back was on a wheel to the right side. He dropped it. And it is a 4th and 4 for the Huskies at their own 25, 29-yard line. They could go for it. They could go for it, but it would be insanity if they don't get this, man. Still with a whole quarter left to play, they're probably going to go out there and punt it. Here comes the punt by the Huskies. Yeah, Chargers requested an interview with Ben Johnson and Eric Glenn. Yes, that has happened. Obviously, they can't interview them until after the postseason stuff is concluded. Maybe we won't even get a chance to do so. But we've requested a lot of interviews. Some of them I think you can interview if they're not in the postseason. If they're out of the tournament, you can interview them right now. And per the Rooney Rule, I think that you could fulfill those interviews and get Jim Harbaugh in the next couple of days if they're able to talk to non-contending teams right now. Wade Phillips. Did you see him and Sean Merriman talking the other day? Wade Phillips was very disappointed in what Brandon Staley did to the defense. It's interesting to see that. That'd be crazy. How old is he now, man? He's got to be like 1 million. Wade, if he was going to go coach one of the USFL teams or something. Oh, okay. That's crazy. He's still running around coaching, man. Yeah, he's good. No word on GM interviews? Not yet. And honestly, Jake, that's a really good thing if you're looking for Jim Harbaugh. Because one of the caveats, if you're going to go after Jim, is he probably wants a say on who the GM is going to be. And if you line somebody up before you interview him, he may not have a chance to get a word in on that. To me, not interviewing GMs yet is a little risky, but it's also a play. It's a play to get Jim Harbaugh. As soon as tomorrow, day after, whatever, whenever he signs with the Chargers, then they can start looking for a GM that he wants to work with, and there'll be plenty of them. There'll be plenty of really good ones that want to work with Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. So I think it's a strategy. I do. I'm harping my lungs out for Eric Bieniemy to be our head coach if we can't land Harbaugh. Yeah, Eric Bieniemy would be a nice candidate as well. Chase Harper with a $10 holla. Best Chargers content on the market. Can't wait to see you announce a Chargers draft pick one day. You earned it. Hey!
Best Chargers content on the market. Can't wait to see you announce a Chargers draft pick one day. You earned it.
Thank you, dude. Man, I've never even thought about that. You know how crazy that would be? I would literally die. I don't care if it's the 7th round pick by the Chargers and they trade it. And all I do is go out there. The Los Angeles Chargers have traded away the 7th round pick to the Chicago Bears for Justin Fields. Hi, Chargers. Like that would be enough for me. That's crazy. Thank you so much, Chase. $10 holla. I appreciate you so much, man. Appreciate you. That's awesome. What's my opinion on Neighbors? I looked, he had a limited route tree. No. Neighbors has a very complete route tree. Neighbors is a very good route runner. Maybe outside of Marvin Harrison, I would say he's the best route runner in this class. And Marvin is a freak of nature. So it's hard to compare him. But no, if we draft Neighbors, you can sleep soundly at night that his route running is just fine. Very, very good. We should have kept Shane Steichen on the team. Yeah, I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If everything up to this point leads to Jim Harbaugh, it will have been worth it. If you've been a fan as long as me or even longer or whatever, it will have all been worth it if it lands Jim Harbaugh. It really would. Director announces Corum to the Chargers with a 3rd round pick. Full circle moment. How crazy would that be? Here comes McCarthy. Oh, pass on the run. In and out of the hands of Johnson. Beautiful ball placement by J.J. McCarthy. And that is a drop. That is a straight-up drop by number 6. Yo, that would have been a 15, 20-yard play. Instead, we're looking at 2nd and long coming up. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. What about Brock Bowers? There's a lot of hype around him. I don't see it. You need to watch a little more. It's insane. Don't just watch his receiving. Definitely the receiving is going to be the big ticket item right there, but also watch his blocking. It's insane. Dude's an animal. Here comes 2nd and 10. Corum's going to get the carry. Picks up 5. It'll be 2nd and a little bit more manageable. 3rd and 5 coming up. They're still inside the 30-yard line. David Arce coming in with the $10 haul. I watch and love all your content. Wish I could donate more. You make every season better. Dude, thank you guys. What are y'all doing? Thank you. We're out here watching Michigan. Y'all make me cry. Thank you for all you do. Here's looking forward to the future of the Chargers and your channel in 2024. 50K in 2024. Let's do it, Bull fam. Thank you, man. David, thank you. Kind words. Kind words, man. You and Chase Harper, dude, make my day. Thank you so much, man. Here comes, McCarthy. He was going to run for it. He got tripped up at the last second. Nice defensive play by the Huskies. It'll be a 4th and medium. Not Chargers. Wolverines got a punt. J.J. McCarthy is headed to the draft. Yeah, he's got... I honestly didn't know what his grade was. I didn't look at the quarterbacks as much outside of the obvious ones in the first round. He does have a 2nd round grade. It looks like. Is Corey Linsley retiring? Yeah, it looks like he might be retiring. 99% is what he said that he's retiring. Here come the Wolverines to punt it away. I did see Herbert's new haircut, man.
I wish I could donate more. You make every season better. Thank you for all you do, and here's looking forward to the future of the Chargers and your channel in 2024.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Y'all are sweet. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 100K in 24? Ooh. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll join the Brandon Perna and Tom Grossi Club one day. You think McCarthy's over high? He'll be okay. Whew. Yeah, 99%. Yeah. McCarthy is Herbert's backup. You never know with that one. That's what I was kind of pushing the other day. And then I read that he's a second rounder. I was like, well, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Do we draft a center? Yes. Powers Johnson's the favorite right now, but there's actually not a bad, class of centers this season. Powers would probably be somewhere around a second round pick. Actually, I got the stuff right in front of me. Let's go see centers. Jackson Powers Johnson. He's ranked 59, so yes, a second round pick. Be it a low second round pick. That's a little. I think he'll climb though. I don't think he stays. I think he'll climb. I think he'll be value wise maybe closer to a higher second round pick, in which I would be willing to take a shot. I'd be very happy because center is very important. Center is very important. I know there's going to be like corners and stuff there that we want to. We'll see. Maybe that's a better move. But Jackson Powers Johnson, the best center in the draft, we'll probably need him. Funny enough, Zach Frazier follows up maybe like a round later. So you're talking like maybe third, fourth round. He's a pretty good one too. And then after that, you're kind of taking shots at guys like Cedric Van Pren, Alabama's guy, and Seth McLaughlin, Bo Limmer. Like there's some guys in there. Drake Nugent as well, who's we're seeing in this draft or in this game right now, should be like a fifth or sixth rounder. Maybe you see something in that. I don't know. But I think center would be a good position to target in the second or third round if you're the Chargers. If we find a way to get Jackson Powers Johnson in the third with that really high third rounder, I'd be very happy about that. But more than likely, that center is going to be going in the second round, in my opinion. Yeah, we have the 37th pick in the second round. He's going 59th. Hey, Ed. Have dinner yet? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We're waiting until after the game. Thank you, though, for the $5 holiday, Ed. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Y'all are crazy, man. Thank you, guys. I can't believe we had like 700 people in here on a not Chargers game. That blows my mind, man. Y'all are crazy. We're all excited for Jim. We're keeping a close eye on Twitter as well. There's a lot of chatter about what's going to happen even moments after this game. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm hungry too. I'm getting there. Remember when you made the jump to YouTube full-time? I did. I do remember. It was a big decision. Penix, middle, incomplete, 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, I made the jump full-time. 2021, 2020-ish, in between there. That was scary. That was scary. I was coming off an awesome job in film. And the pandemic laid us all off. I really wanted to do this full time. Y'all came to my rescue, man. The only reason we're here today is because you guys came. I appreciate you. Here comes Penix, is gonna float another one. Oh no! Oh, that's a big pass, dude. There's a penalty though. Rome picks up. I would say that's what, a 30-yard pass, but holding on the offense is going to bring that play back. Oh, that is a heartbreaker if you're a Huskies fan. Oh. Would you trade up out of the third for him? Yes, I would. I would do that 100%. That trade would entail, let's see, if the Chargers at pick 69 moved up, it would be 310. You're a difference of like 65 points. You could convince me we give up a 4th and a 3rd to move back up. I would probably do that. Yeah, I would probably do that for sure. Here comes the underneath pass this time. 2nd and 20. Blown up by Michigan. It's going to be a 3rd and 18. What a heartbreaker for Washington. Watching that monster play go all the way back. Now you're looking at 3rd and 18. What job in film? I worked in commercial and music videos, funny enough. I did a lot of music stuff with some pretty cool dudes. Pretty cool dudes. And some retro bands and stuff too, man. We worked with the Osmonds a lot, and man, I have to go back and look at some of my albums. Here comes a pass over the middle for number 7. 3rd and 18 is going to turn into 4th and 10. And Michigan's defense does their job. Michigan's defense does their job. Here comes the punting unit for the Huskies. I think Harbaugh is more likely to go to the Raiders or the Chargers. The Chargers, 100% more. I would say if I were cutting it down like a pie or whatever, I would say there's like a 30% chance he goes back to Michigan. Honestly, dude, it's like a 40% chance he's going to the Chargers. We're at 70 right now. Like a 10% chance he's going to the Raiders. Maybe 15. You could convince me. And then the rest of the rumors kind of fit in that remainder percent. That's kind of where I'm at right now. With everything I've been reading and studying, it kind of feels that way. And somebody made a really good point in saying that the Raiders could just be a leverage move, just a strategy. Like, hey, man, the Raiders want to pay me. They're there in your division. You know, like, you really want to see me go to Vegas? And they'll be like, no, here's another $5 million a year. Okay, here we go. Like, it could just be a money move. Better chance of the Commanders. There's some connections there with the Raiders, though. There really are. So I'm not going to rule it out. It would be a disaster for us. But, yeah. Directors on IMDb. I actually am, yes. Yeah, if he goes to the Raiders, it would be a disaster for this team, man. It would be a disaster for this fan base. It would be, the whole offseason would just be picking up the pieces of this broken fan base. It really would. It would go from the most hyped I've seen the fan base in a long time to maybe the most broken I've seen the fan base in a long time. And this team's been through it. Fan base has been through it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I like Spiller. He doesn't suck. Yeah, I mean, he could still work out. You never know. But I still think the Chargers would be wise to go out there and get at least 2 more running backs. For sure. Chase Harper! Welcome to the crew, my friend. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. Enjoy the custom emotes. What would be the contingency if we miss out on Harbaugh? Probably Ben Johnson first. I'm still not quite out on Bill Belichick, especially now that he said that he's willing just to come coach and not be a manager guy like GM, which, I mean, why not? You know, like, I think my foundation was shaken but not broken on Bill Belichick. But if we don't get Jim Harbaugh, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. Harbaugh, Ben Johnson, who we've already requested an interview with, Bill Belichick. There's a couple other guys that would kind of get me excited, but the Chargers have such a good job. We have to land a big name. We have to land one of the top dogs. We just have to. Roundtree was... I completely forgot about Larry Roundtree. Wow. Saw some rumors he's going to the Patriots. Jim? Maybe. I haven't even heard much on that. I mean, he could. I think they're wiser to go back after Vrabel, who could be leaving Tennessee. $5. What would you think of this scenario? Cut Allen and Mike. Move up to get Harrison. Develop QJ and Darius based on skill set. So I think I like part of that. I don't think we cut Keenan Allen. He's still playing so good even at a later age. You can extend him, spread that money. I think Mike should be a cut. I think the injury on top of the money is just too much to overcome. And for those of you saying that we can't move up to get Marvin, yeah, we probably could. It cost like a 2nd-round pick and change. Oh, nice play over the middle. McCarthy to number 18. Loveland has it. Tackled down to the 30-yard line. That's a bomb right there, baby. That's a bomb right there. What a snag by Loveland. And we got the Michigan Wolverines in field goal range all of a sudden. Once again can take a 2-score lead. Let's go pound that in for a touchdown, baby. Give it to Corum.
Corum's got the football on the next carry. Nice cut. Picks up a couple extra yards. It's going to be a 2nd and medium coming up. Wow. Big wow. To finish answering that question, yes, we could technically move up for Marvin Harrison. I don't know if I would, just because we need to fill a lot of positions this year. We have great draft position. You're going to get like a borderline first rounder in the 2nd round this season. But for Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe it's worth it. Your new wide receiver core could look something like Allen, Harrison / Neighbors if you decide to go that way. Or, even Josh Palmer. Allen, Josh Palmer, and then Quentin Johnston's definitely not a bad unit either if you have a Brock Bowers. So, who knows? Here comes McCarthy. Passes underneath to Wilson. And it's going to pick up a first down. Wolverines on the move, baby. There's the momentum we were talking about. Thank you so much for the 5 there, man. Trade Bosa to the Niners. They probably would do it, too. Love how aggressive Harbaugh is. Yeah. Harbaugh and Herbert would be just stupid good, dude. I can't even tell you. Thank you, Francis. Here comes 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at their own, or at the 15-yard line. It'll be a carry up the middle for Corum. And a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and medium again. They're at the 10-yard line now, baby. Oh, man. Bosa for Kittle. I don't think they would do that. I mean, maybe they would. If that's the case, maybe you do that. Because, to be honest, Brock Bowers looks like, yes, a lot like George Kittle, actually. A lot like George Kittle, but better, in my opinion. A better George Kittle. But if you can get George Kittle and Neighbors, I think I'd be about it. Here comes Corum. Nice, patient running, waiting for the blocks to develop, and he brings it into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines! 12-yard score for Blake Corum, and there's a 26-13 lead in Michigan. Jim is going crazy on the sideline. And Michigan takes the lead. Woo-wee. Dude, I love the way Corum lets his blocks develop, dude. Lets those lanes open up. Makes that one sharp cut and takes it the distance. The extra point doinked in, so it's still a 27-13 lead. And here we go, Wolverines, dude. Wowza. Vision is just so good. Yes, Hugo. Vision and patience. That's a Le'Veon Bell trait right there. Built into an Austin Eckler frame. Corum looks nice, man. He looks nice. He looks nice. Our pick for Pitts, I've thought about that. Honestly, not straight up. I wouldn't do that straight up. But if you can get, and this is actually something possible, based on Pitts, his situation, and the Falcons' situation, the opportunity to draft a quarterback in that pick, you could realistically ask for Pitts and the Falcons' first-round pick. You realistically could ask that for the number 5 overall. You realistically could ask that. Yes, you might have to add some change a little bit in terms of the draft compensation, but Pitts for the 5th round, or for the 5th overall, and the 8th in return for the 8th, and Pitt, I think I would do that. Absolutely. We'll see what happens after that. Not gonna lie, genuinely hurt to if we spent all this time rooting for Michigan and have Harbaugh not going to the last day. I mean, it's fine. We're all having fun with it. That's the biggest thing I've been trying to preach to Chargers fans. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. This is a huge development. We don't know if it's going to ever happen again. Let's have fun with it, man. Let's roll with it. Let's have some fun. What? Sorry, I was just trying to read the comments here. Anyway.
Michigan leads 27-13. We got 7 minutes left in this game. And it's looking good if you're a Wolverine fan at this point. Do you think we have a shot at Marvin? Marginal. We're very marginal. It's very slim. Again, percentage-wise, I'd say 10% chance, maybe 15 of getting Marvin Harrison Jr. We'd have to maybe trade up. But if a stupid wild scenario goes down where 4 quarterbacks go in front of us, which is less likely than 3 or 2, then maybe. Steve Wilkes, did we request an interview? I'm going to go back to the Twitter here real quick, guys, see if there's anything that broke. While we wait out for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh to maybe play out the rest of this game. Double checking that we're not missing anything here, man. It's heating up, dude. The next 48 hours, I think, are going to be very crucial to this news. Who knows when the actual official signing of documents will happen, or if it'll happen, but I don't know, man. It feels... It's exciting. That's all I'm going to say. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. Insane Goon says, $5 holla. Director, do you think there is a chance the Chargers could get Corum late in the draft, or is he going higher? No, yeah, he's a late round pick. I would say Corum at the very earliest is a 3rd round guy. I would see him more as like a fringe 4th round guy. And yeah, I think the Chargers would if we have Jim, the Chargers would take a look at him for sure. Because, I mean, obviously he's going to give you stuff similar to what Austin Eckler did for you. That's all. It's automatically draws interest. But of course, if you got the coach that knows how to use them, that's even better. So thank you so much, doing the $5 holla. Appreciate that. Here comes Penix, fires middle of the field, and he'll get blown up by 5 or 6 different Wolverines. Forward progression still gives him about 4 yards. It'll be second and medium. And the clock is rolling. Now a big factor in this game. 2-score lead. And you got 6.5 minutes left if you're the Washington Huskies. Harbaugh doesn't sign with us in the next 6 weeks. We won't get him. If it happens, it'll happen in like the next week and a half at the very latest. I think it'll happen sooner than later. Much sooner than later. Probably shockingly sooner than later. Here comes 2nd and 6. Deep ball. Oh, this time it's not dropped. Rome's got it. That's a huge play downfield. And Washington picks up a bomb. Maybe 40 yards on that play. Big play by the Huskies. They got the first down now at the 27-yard line, but there is a flag on their next snap. Woo! Maybe sign him tomorrow. Ball starting the offense. It'll be a 1st and 15 coming up. It could happen. Some people are telling me I'm crazy for saying it could happen. It could happen. If the Chargers have conducted the proper amount of interviews by tomorrow, and they have had time to talk and negotiate with Jim Harbaugh, yes, it could happen. But more than likely, it takes, I would say, at least a couple more days to get everything straight, unless those talks behind the scenes had more details than we thought. Here comes the pass over the middle, incomplete by Penix. It'll be 2nd and 15. But you never know, dude. You never know. Again, Jim to the Chargers, we don't even know if it's going to happen, but like, it's going to be a very important week, guys. That's all I'm going to tell you. If Jim Harbaugh comes to the comes to the NFL, I think it happens in the next week. A few days probably more realistic. He can't end up with the Raiders. Yep, we have to make sure that he's with us and not an AFC West rival. Here comes a low throw by Penix, and it's only going to pick up like 3 yards. 3rd and 13 coming up. If you're Michigan, obviously you can't take the field goal here. It's got to be a touchdown or bust. If you're Washington, excuse me. So it's pretty big plays, pretty big drive right here, man. This could be it. This could be it. Third and 13. Deep ball to the sidelines. And it is a 4th and 13 coming up after that incomplete pass. Y'all are throwing me off so hard right now. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The facial structure comments, I appreciate that. Y'all are crazy. 4th and 13 coming up. This could be the game, dude. If the Huskies don't get it here, I think Michigan's got this in the bag. And Michigan's going to take their timeout, make sure that they're ready for whatever Washington has to offer on this 4th and 13 try. This is crazy. Jim Harbaugh could be a national championship winning coach in the next 5 minutes of game time, of game clock. I get that too, super dude. I sometimes go back and watch my old videos. I was like, whoa, we rode the hype pretty cool, pretty smooth. But like I said before, I love drawing from fan perspective for my content. It makes things a lot more fun. It does. It does. It's a good time out here. 4th and 13. This could be the game, dudes. If they don't at least convert this play, it's game. Here comes Penix. He's gonna toss it up. It's up for grabs. It's incomplete, but there's several flags back at the line. Now at the 5-yard line. They're everywhere, man. There are flags everywhere. Penix is slow to get up. Holding by the offense, PI by the defense. Offset. It's still going to be 4th and forever. All right, here we go again. Pozole! Man, I'm so hungry. You know what I'm probably going to be eating after this? I mean, we got some okay food in here. It's diet food. I lost so much weight 2 years ago. I gained a lot of it back when I quit smoking. I tell you guys, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Twice. Losing that weight, one of the toughest things I've ever done. Quitting smoking was the toughest thing I've ever done. But I leaned into food again, unfortunately. Gained a lot of weight. Now we're back on the grind. Hopefully we'll be done by April, May this time. 4th and 13. Could be the game. Penix steps back, got a little bit of time, fires over the middle of the field, and it's intercepted! Samerstell's got it. He's headed maybe all the way. He's got a caravan in front of him, baby. All the way down to the 5-yard line, and this game's over, dude. This game's over. Let's go! What a freaking move, dude. Wow. Washington fans can't believe it. Michigan fans in the crowd crying. John Harbaugh in the crowd celebrating for his brother. 4.5 minutes. Likely a 3-possession lead about to happen. Aduze was wide open on the left side, too. And instead, he throws into triple coverage. And the rest is history. It'll be a Michigan 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line. Oh, my God, dude. That's it. That's it. It's it. That's it. Jim Harbaugh, you are a Los Angeles Charger. Here comes the run up the middle. I think it's in too, man. Instant touchdown. Here we go. Was that Blake Corum? Oh, he'll be stopped just short. 2nd and goal. Let that clock roll a little bit, baby. That is it, dude. Taylor with the 5 says, good for you, bro. Hot sauce, mustard, salsa makes dieting easier. Yes, it certainly does. Fortunately for me, this is the 2nd time around, so I know what I'm doing. And I don't have to quit smoking again, so it won't happen again. It's just tough, man. It is so tough. I miss tacos! Although, my wife makes some banger low-carb calorie tacos. They taste just like Del Taco. Maybe not quite Taco Bell, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Here comes 2nd and goal. The carry. The Corum. The touchdown! Wolverines! And they're going to win this football game, baby. They're going to win this football game. A lead of 33-13, likely 34-13. 3 minutes left to play, and Michigan is ecstatic on the sideline. This has to be a massively emotional moment for Jim Harbaugh and his family, his crew. Wow. Let's go, coach. Got to stay for the trophy celebration. I'll stick around as late as I can. I'm hungry. I'm not supposed to eat too late either on the diet. You mean like, what's your deal at the ending? I would love to see that again, man. Full circle. If Harbaugh wins, he stays at Michigan. I don't know. I don't know if I'm quite convinced about that. I would be convinced of the opposite. And I don't remember who the guest was on the Rich Eisen show, but they were saying that more than likely if he wins, he's going to the NFL. He didn't say the Chargers, but he just said the NFL. How long did it take the cravings to stop from smoking? Oh, man. Well, so I vaped, right? I vaped. I would say the first, 2 weeks were super hard. Maybe the first week was, the really, really tough one. And honestly, it took me, 3 months to really, get over the hump. But it got easier after the first week or so. But it was tough. It was really tough. And I told myself, and I was worried that it would happen as far as gaining the weight back, but I told myself that, hey man, if you gotta have an extra snack next to you at all times in order to fight those cravings, you do it, right? You quit smoking, you're done. You don't gotta quit again later. You can lose the weight again later, and that's exactly what happened. And so far, so good. We're down 30-ish pounds, and still going. Breaking. Harbaugh and Herbert lead the Chargers to the 2026 Super Bowl. Tara, I didn't even have to ask what's going on. Yeah! The Huskies, man. Not only an interception, but such a huge return, too. That's crazy. Took about 5 tries. Yeah. I think I kind of tried once or twice before. I didn't last very long in those first 2 attempts. But when I sat down and made a plan and said, hey, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick to it. And honestly, the food was part of that plan at first. It was like, hey, you're not going to be able to smoke. That sucks. But hey, you know what? Let's gorge a little bit. Let's distract ourselves. I don't know if I would recommend that. I don't know if I would recommend that. Just find something to distract yourself. And give your loved ones a heads up, because I was a freaking jerk for 2 months, dude. I was not a happy person. 1st and 10. Underneath pass to number 2 for the Huskies. He'll get tackled after a 6-7 yard gain, but there is a flag at the end there. Banks has got something on his ribs. Hopefully he's okay. I quit 8 years ago, still have cravings. I'm not going to lie, I do too. I do too, all the time. Every now and then. Not as much as in the first, few months, because, man, I'm getting about a year separated from smoking. But even to this day, sometimes I'll reach for my vape and it's not there and I go, ah. But it's a lot easier now. I only have cravings every once in a while, maybe a couple of times a week now, where it was all the time before. And I get over it a lot faster now. So if you're thinking about quitting smoking, do it. You can do it. It's still one of the best things I've ever done in terms of making a hard decision and sticking to it. My life instantly got a lot better in terms of my health when I made that decision. Recommend everybody do that. What's my favorite monster? This one right here. Pineapple. I think there's an injury on the field we're waiting for right now, guys. Hopefully everybody's okay. Of course, draft is coming up. A lot of these guys are declaring. Want to see them have a bright future in the pros. Was 2 call reversed? I didn't quite catch what the result of that was. Either way, there was some penalty. I think it got it reversed. It'll be like a 2nd and 3 coming up. Hugo says, I'm happy to let you know I gave up drinking. Hey, oh, let's go. Hey, oh, good job, man. I know that one's pretty tough, too. I've never really been much of a drinker, but I know that can be just as hard as quitting smoking. So good for you, man. Good for you. 2nd and 3. Pass over the middle, off the fingertips of McMillan. It's going to be a 3rd and 3 coming up. Home skill with the 5 is Jim Harbaugh, which means his job is finished. To the Chargers he comes. Please, please, please. There are fewer things that could happen to this organization, to this franchise, to this fan base, more significant than Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. And when I say significant, there's no way I can overstate how significant that would be. Closer drinker. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like my thing. Every once in a while, though. It'll be a pass to number 8. He'll be tackled just before the first down. It'll be a 4th and 1 coming up. I'll say what helped with because again, I'm not really. It wasn't kind of my thing anyway. But on this particular diet, that's now round 2. I tend just to not drink because I've read it may or may not be true. I don't know, but I just kind of took it to heart that even if you drink something that's low in calories, carbs, or whatever, the alcohol takes time to process. It uses up your body's resources. And it makes weight loss a lot longer, if that makes sense. And I didn't want to have to wait that long, so I just cut it out completely. I think I spent like 8 months completely sober. Even though I don't drink very often anyway, like, didn't touch it for 8 months. I think it helped, in my opinion. 1st and 10. It'll be a pass over the middle. Penix hits number 85. Nice play, but ultimately nicer play on defense. Knocks that thing loose. It'll be 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. I'll keep myself mentally strong. Watching you losing by 3 would have been funny. But whooping is objectively funnier. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tara. And keep it up, Hugo. Keep it up. If you ever go on a diet, I promise you, not drinking really, really helps speed up the process. 2nd and 10. Kind of going through the motions here as we're approaching 2 minutes. Here comes Penix. He's going to toss it away. Almost intercepted 2 times. And the clock is stopped at 1:59 on 3rd and 10. Chase, it's Director YT. I read that if your liver takes in too much alcohol to process, it makes the other organs of your body. Yeah. That's part of my research too. Yep, absolutely. And you need those organs process fat. If you're on the right diet, you're still drinking it. Some of the processing that it takes to get the fat off of you gets taken up by alcohol, at least from what I read. So I decided to move away from it. But keep it up, Hugo. You got this, dude. Here comes Penix. He's going to fire under pressure again. He's under fire. He's hurting on his ribs. Not much hope for the Huskies right now. Oh, man. Just takes another lick right there. Trying to protect that right side of his ribs. Hey, $10 holla coming in from Cody. Anyone else see the report of Staley interviewing with the Vikings soon? Also hope by Friday we get an alert that Jimbo to the Chargers. Thanks, Director, for another amazing season. Till next year. Cody, thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Y'all are the best, man. Appreciate you guys. Yes, I didn't hear about Staley to the Vikes. That'd be kind of good for them, I guess, if he can go back to his Rams days a little bit. But I'm hoping too, man. Friday would be a good mark to look for Jim Harbaugh news. It could happen sooner. It could happen a little bit later. But I'm thinking like within a week, whether it's sooner or later, that we're going to hear something, you know? We don't talk about Staley. Sorry, chat. Sorry. Jeez. Jesus. Oh, man. Penix looks like he's in pain, dude. He's in a lot of pain. Thank you again, Cody, so much for the $10 holla, man. Y'all make my day. Count your carbs, even smaller servings. Yeah, that's definitely the road that we're taking. Help me lose over 50. Nice. Who does it go to? It came back. Yeah. That's what it is. I think it's more for me, and I think for a lot of people, a psychological battle as it is anything else. You know, I think what I was trying to do was just train my mind and my habits to a healthier lifestyle, because you ultimately want to stay in a good weight range, right? And you can easily drop back into it. I felt pretty good, you know, kind of fluctuating between the same like 10 pounds for like a long time after I lost all the weight, but ultimately going back and forth until the quit smoking thing. Then I gained a lot back. But you know, it's actually not as hard as people make it out to be once you get into the routine of things. Here comes a pass that's incomplete, and it's a turnover on down. We're gonna see a couple kneel outs here, baby, and it's Michigan, it's Michigan, national football champions, just walking through the motions now, dude. This arena's on fire, man. This place is on fire. Michigan fans are just over the moon right now. That'll be us one day, Bull fam. That'll be us one day. Please, Jim, come to the Chargers, please. Please. Congratulations to Jim Harbaugh. Is this the first national championship win for Michigan? That's so huge, dude. Even if it's not, this is so huge for Jim Harbaugh. His first win. Massive, massive implications of his transition to the NFL, of course, which the Chargers lead the pack in possibilities for him. Here comes a carry for Horam. And I think Michigan's going to use their timeouts and stuff, right? They're going to go through the full motions, or no? There's no reason to, other than just getting your guys further hurt. Last one, you doing a live stream for the draft? As always. All 3 days. We'll be there, baby. We'll be there, Cody. Thank you, dude. Yes, we're not missing a minute, a moment of the Chargers' high draft position this season, man. It's going to be an event. I'm so excited. So excited for the draft this year. This is the year to get hyped about the draft. No matter what happens with coaching and all that kind of stuff, the 5th position is huge, not just for the first round, but all rounds. And this is a hell of a draft to have that position. This is a good draft of players to have a good pick. Exciting stuff. Bounce pulls Jim aside. Come aboard my personal jet. He just loads up the entire team and personnel and everybody. Jim! He avoided the Gatorade again on the sideline. Almost got him. Bowers, please. Yes, please, and thank you. Is Spanos in Houston for real? There we go, baby. Michigan just knelt it out. Your Michigan Wolverines are officially national champions, baby. Jim Harbaugh has done it. The impossible. He's done the impossible. Years ago, coming back to Michigan, a former alumni takes over a team that looks like to be down in the dumps. Not much going on with this program for the longest time. Jim turns it around in just 1 or 2 seasons. And years later, after being a prominent threat for 3-4 years running, he takes his team all the way to the big game and does it. Mission accomplished. Jim and the Michigan Wolverines are national football champions. Oh my goodness. Wow. He dodged that Gatorade like a pro. He navigated that sideline like a pocket back when he played quarterback for the Chargers, dude. Congratulations to Michigan Wolverine fans. Congratulations to everybody involved in that program, to the Harbaughs. What an mission accomplished moment for him, man. We're going to hear his speech right now. He's beside himself. Says there's a story in every piece of confetti coming down about his team and what it took to get there. Is that really his pops? Good for him, man. Penix draft stock took a major hit. Yeah, it did, especially with the injury potential. Probably nothing, but... Who's got it better than you right now, coach? Nobody. Jim will sign with the Chargers in less than 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. If he signs to the NFL. Whatever his future may be, it's happening soon. I would imagine it happens very soon, within the next couple of weeks. And honestly, if you're the Chargers, you make a move as quickly as possible to avoid a signing to an AFC West rival. Ricardo with the 5 says the only thing left for Harbaugh is the Lombardi Trophy with the Los Angeles Chargers. Hashtag Jim2LA. Ask him if he's going to Disneyland again. He cannot sign before the divisional round. So sad. Can you not officially sign anymore before the divisional round, or can you not assign people still in the tournament in the divisional round? You can still talk, and I think actually I remember that you can talk and come to an agreement, but can't make it official until after a certain point, right? Kind of like free agency, where you can agree to terms and things can still change in that time, but you can announce that an agreement has been met and you're waiting for the formal time to sign the paperwork. I think that's how it works, if I remember. When it comes to Harbaugh, we don't have to wait until the division round, right? Someone said in chat. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Again, I'm no expert, but I think that's what we're looking for. Meet him at Disney. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those are NFL rules, not college rules. That's what I was thinking, too. You have to finish out your interviews. That does involve the NFL, but we'll find an answer for that. We'll figure it out, put it on Twitter. I do want to stay for the trophy ceremony, but I am starving, dudes. And you know what? We're going to have to stay on top of it. I'm going to have to be glued to my phone for the next, who knows how long. Few days, a week. But I do think it's going to happen, man. I do think it's going to happen. Break out your blank checks. Yeah, it's time, dude. So for those of you wondering why a bunch of Chargers fans are out here, 800 of us. I didn't even see that. Hit that like, dude. Why over 800 Chargers fans are in this chat rooting for the Michigan Wolverines, and congratulations to them. Well, it's because Jim Harbaugh has been heavily linked to the Chargers. There was a lot of speculation going around that if he won this game, that he would turn his attention and his eyes towards the Lombardi Trophy, which, of course, right now, mission accomplished. Could he be looking at a return to the NFL? A lot of evidence would point to, yes, I think he is. And right now, the Los Angeles Chargers are the leading team in terms of odds, in terms of news, in terms of just connecting the dots to land a legendary head coach who could turn around this, honestly, pitiful organization at this point in the shortest amount of time. And Harbaugh would have a heck of a time doing so with Justin Herbert, the number 5 overall pick, and a lot more tools at his disposal in Los Angeles. It should be a very long and fun offseason if that does become the case. Very exciting stuff, man. Very excited stuff. Who's my college team? I'd probably say the Utes. Need to follow them more to be an official fan, though. We'll have to say that. Well, guys, this has been a super exciting week. We're going to keep our eyes very peeled to the phones, to the screens. Let's go check things out real quick. Let's give the vibes one more check right here. Vibe check in the chat. How we feeling, baby? When I say Jim, you say Harbaugh. Jim. Give me some lightning bolts in the chat, baby. Are we about to see history repeat itself? Some of the most significant moments in Chargers history was the signing and hiring of Coryell with Fouts, of Schottenheimer with Rivers, and now maybe, just maybe, Harbaugh with Justin Herbert. Is it time, baby? Is it time? We'll take a couple of looks here real quick before we get out of here. Make sure we're not missing anything in terms of news. What a great moment for future Chargers head coach. What a moment. Mission accomplished. Michigan, yep, absolutely. Big congratulations to everybody. Tyler says, update Chargers submitted head coach interviews for Todd, or Monken, Glenn, Johnson. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the bag right now. 6 in the bag. And, of course, if you guys missed this, probably one of the more significant drops of news that we've seen in a minute. Hearing the Los Angeles Chargers are going full court press for Jim Harbaugh after Monday night. Nothing is final now, but things are headed in a positive direction for Harbaugh and the Chargers crew. It could happen, man, and it could happen a lot faster than a lot of us realize. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. Mission accomplished. Jim Harbaugh and this amazing, amazing team make history in Michigan. Will he do so again in Los Angeles in the next couple of years, man? Let's do this, baby. Guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll catch you next time. As always, bolt up and stay frosty, baby. Let's go get Jim Harbaugh and win a championship of our own. Let's make some history, Bowl fam. Bolt up, baby. Bolt up. Congratulations to Michigan.